Good evening, everybody. Welcome into Salle College High School football live on Bob Long Sports. We have a great crew with you on hand tonight. Bob Long and Chris Carabello is in the booth alongside us, Christian James, class of 2020 at LaSalle, our student broadcaster here for the evening, and EXPN production. This is the District 12 semifinal between LaSalle and St. Joe's Prep, live from Northeast High School. And guys, it's a St. Joe's Prep team that already has the hubcap. They've won the regular season Catholic League title, now state bragging rights, and a trip to the city championship is on the line. The stakes do not get much higher than this. Chris Carabello, your thoughts as we move into what should be a special game on a very chilly evening?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head there when you said the chilly evening. This is about as cold as we're going to play a game. They're saying wind chills in the low 20s, and the crowd is really bundled up. I can't imagine what the guys on the field are going through. But regardless of what they go through, they're going to have to find a way to reverse fortunes, come back from that game, that first game against the Prep, and get a bid to next week's game against the Public League champion.
Christian James is here with us as well. Christian, St. Joe's Prep, one of the top teams in the country, ranked in the top 10, and the #1 overall Catholic school ranked in the country. LaSalle has a challenge on their hands. What do you see as the keys to tonight's game?
The keys to tonight for LaSalle especially is just get started with the run game. The offensive line has to make those holes, and the runners have to, cut through them and look at them and make big plays. And also, you got to start out early. That's one thing LaSalle struggled with in last games like at Widener University. But today, they're going to have to start early, start soon, get it going, and score quickly.
Well, the good news is they're going to get the ball to start the game. The Prep's going to kick off. And hopefully they're going to do exactly what you just said, Christian. They're going to be able to get started early. Now, they did do that at Widener, where they scored on their first possession, marched upfield, and was about to score on their second possession, and got down to the 4-yard line where Danny Selecki threw what I thought was a pass that changed the course of the game. Instead of being up 14-0, it was quickly 7-7, and I don't think the Explorers really ever recovered from that. If they can avoid that, if they can avoid the turnover, I think the team that doesn't turn the ball over tonight walks away with the District 12 championship.
You mentioned Danny Selecki, Chris. He's the first team All-Catholic at quarterback. Really a great story with Danny Selecki in that he wasn't the starter at the beginning of the year. He came in game number 2. Game number 3 became just the 6th quarterback in LaSalle history to throw for over 300 yards en route to a magical season. He was hurt last week against Roman Catholic. We don't expect to see him tonight, so it will be the return of number 14, Isaiah Jones, the guy that started at quarterback for this team to begin the season against North Penn. He'll return in a similar role there, some pure college-style RPO. And really the question is, who's going to want to tackle 6'4", 220 in 20-degree weather? Anthony Tagano for St. Joe's Prep to kick it deep. LaSalle to return, and we are underway. Tagano, a long kick into the end zone, a touchback, and Isaiah Jones onto the field with the LaSalle offense.
Yeah, and as you said, I think this is going to be a big running game tonight. Starting with Isaiah Jones, keeping it, looking for those holes that Christian talked about. But Joey Burnham in the backfield had a huge game against the Prep last time, and we have to look for him to do the same tonight. As I said, I think winning on the ground is going to make the big difference tonight.
Even number 2, Octavius Carter, he will be a big factor in this game too, running.
Yeah, Manny Quiles as well.
Truly.
St. Joe's starts with an odd man front, 3 with the fists in the dirt. Isaiah Jones in the shotgun. Keyless to his right. Here's the snap, and Isaiah Jones takes off with it, breaks one tackle, heads upfield, and loses the football. Ball's on the ground. Marvin Harrison was the first on it. St. Joe's Prep pointing their way, but the referees say LaSalle on the football. Marvin Harrison with the pickup. That'll be a gain of 4.
And it would have been a gain of a few more had there not been the fumble. But, Bob, that's one, I think that was what, I talked about the big interception. Turnovers. Can't turn the ball over, and LaSalle was fortunate enough to recover there, but they can't have anything like that. And the Prep's going to be out to force those turnovers.
2nd down and 7. Second play of the football game. St. Joe's Prep, again, with 3 with the fists down. Rayshad Wallace, number 20, appearing on the outside of the outside linebacker position. Shotgun snap. Handoff to the inside, hit right there and dropped. And it's actually a nice couple yard gain as number 4, Joey Burnham, who burned this St. Joe's Prep team for the tune of over 100 yards in the first time they played, gets them about halfway towards the marker. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Yeah, they're going to have to chip away at this. This is going to be a game of inches played over 100 yards. They're just going to have to keep picking up, 2-3 yards, 2-3 yards, 2-3 yards. Shorter passes. I think that's how this is going to go. I don't think there's going to be big plays. At least LaSalle's not going to get any, but they're not going to be able to let any up either.
Third down and 4. Here's a screen pass. Marvin Harrison has it up to the 30 and more. Knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Good blocking on the outside by Brett Malley, who makes his return to the field after sitting out for 4 games.
Yeah, that was a high-efficiency pass. I mean, that's what they're going to have to do. Those short little screens in this weather, it's the kind of pass that Isaiah can throw efficiently and effectively, and they can pick up first downs. They just need to nip away.
And like you said, Chris, the short little passes will lead them a long way to the end zone. And
offside will be called against St. Joe's Prep as they jump on the hard count. 10:19 to play first quarter. Still scoreless. LaSalle with their first drive of the game. They got a first down on the 10-yard completion from Jones to Harrison Jr., the freshman, and now it's 1st and 5 after the encroachment. Once again in the shotgun. St. Joe's Prep wants false start, not called. Now Jones turns to the sideline. Burnham switches sides in the backfield. Moving from left to right. Jones now takes the snap, runs off tackle, and St. Joe's Prep is all over him. A loss of 5 as he couldn't get to the corner. Number 44, Bradley Coball in there on the stop.
Yeah, the yards they gained from the encroachment penalty they lost right there on Isaiah Jones trying to get to the outside. The other thing that was really good about those first 2 possessions in the last game and the Explorers kind of chipping away at yards, it ate a tremendous amount of clock, and that's what they're going to need to do tonight. They need to eat clock. The Prep scored on all big plays. They didn't really sustain drives. All the Explorers were sustained drives.
And there's movement against Malley. That's called. He was lined up in the slot. Malley doesn't like it. It's an easy one, and now that'll back him up. 2nd down and 15.
Like you also said, possession is going to be key tonight. And by each team, it's the amount of time they hold the ball, the amount of time they really try to go long. So that's going to be it, possession.
Yeah, I think LaSalle has the better offensive line, which will allow them to have sustained drives. The Prep doesn't really have that, but they were able to do it on big plays, so it really didn't matter. We never really exposed that.
Another pass, this time too high. They went for the screen again. St. Joe's Prep looked like they had it sniffed out nonetheless. Marvin Harrison was taken down after the play by Dawson DeJulius. Came up asking for a call, none made, and now it's 3rd down and 15 from the 30-yard line. They need the 45 for a first.
Yeah, Isaiah it was probably wise that he threw it high. I don't think anybody was there, and if they were going to get stopped right there. Might even stop for a loss.
Nine minutes, 19 seconds to play, first quarter. 3rd and 15 for the Explorers. Jones comes from the sideline. Ball's on the far hash. Shotgun snap. Isaiah Jones rolls strong side. Little wheel route, defended well. Now he takes off with it. Going to be close. Hit at the 40. Dropped at the 43. It'll be 2 yards short after the 13-yard gain on the run. The bootleg from Jones.
This is an interesting situation, whether he goes for it or not. So we're 4th and 2. You're right, Bob. Yeah, I think they're gonna try to get them to jump off sides. No, they have Karish out there.
Karish out to kick it deep. St. Joe's Prep loading up the line. Just one gunner on each side. Everyone else coming after it. Low snap. Able to get it off. A low kick is going to bounce LaSalle's way past the 30 to the 25 and rolls to a stop at the 24-yard line. But, guys, that ball didn't get much higher than the top of the defensive lineman for St. Joe's Prep. Landed at about the Prep 45 and was the beneficiary of a 21-yard roll.
You know, one of the other things where the Prep really differentiated themselves in the last game was their special teams. I think their guys on the outside were able to get penetration not only on the punts but on the extra points, and that's something LaSalle is going to have to really guard against tonight. Karrasch was under tremendous pressure the entire game last time. No different right here. Now the low snap didn't help.
That was a phenomenal pick by Daniel Karrasch. Now the first look at Marquez McCray. Hands it off to his running back number 13, Marquez Mason, a gain of 2. Right in between the tackles, and it'll be 2nd down and 8.
Now, just as the Prep has the big defensive line, LaSalle no different. I think this is going to be a slightly undersized and slightly younger St. Joe's Prep offensive line versus an experienced and bigger LaSalle line.
Jet sweep for St. Joe's Prep. James Cherry, and a nice job by the Explorers to chase it down. Sean Daly in there on the stop, coming up from the safety position. Under 8 minutes to play first quarter. St. Joe's Prep with their first set of downs of the game after forcing LaSalle to punt on 4th down. 3rd down and 5 from just north of the 30-yard line. They need just shy of the 35 for a first down.
This is where you need to watch McCray keeping the ball.
They started in the pistol formation. Now out to the slot is Marquez Mason.
Here he comes, here he comes.
McCray takes off with it. Maloney. And the flag comes down as Marquez McCray slides 5 yards beyond the marker. Maloney almost made the tackle, but now he's going to argue he was held, and I think that's the call you're going to see.
Yeah, the Explorers are going to get the holding call. And the holding call took place about the 30-yard line, so they're going to go all the way back to the 20. But just like I said, he was never throwing the ball.
They're going to mark it off exactly as you said, Chris. From the line of scrimmage at the 30, they'll back it up to the 20, and it will be 3rd down and 15, very similar as LaSalle faced on the last play offensively.
Now, this is where the Explorers have to stop against the big play. They can't get any of those Prep receivers behind the secondary.
Out comes Jack Sutton. He's going to line up in the slot. There's 2 wide receivers to the near side. The ball is on this near hash. Empty set for Marquez Mason. Watch the draw here. Mason's going to drop back, steps up, fires over the middle, and it's incomplete. Right through the hands of number 11, Johnny Freeman.
Who was open. I mean, but this is a tough night to catch a ball like that. That ball was really thrown hard on a cold night. That's going to be a tough ball to catch.
It's bound to sting your hands right when you touch it.
I can only imagine what that feels like, Christian.
Johnny Freeman. It's going to be considered a drop nonetheless, but we'll give him credit as, boy, that's taking a fastball in 20-degree weather. Now St. Joe's Prep will punt it. Again, not a great snap. Barely gets the punt off. Pretty decent kick. LaSalle's going to let it drop, and Malley picks it up at the 35-yard line. And the flag comes in as Troy Holland, somewhat of an unnecessary block in the back.
It was an unnecessary block. I mean, was it a block in the back? Probably. Did he have to call it? No. Did Troy Holland have to touch him? No. So you're going to get that call. That's what's going to happen.
It was light, but if you don't stick your arms out, then you take away all doubt.
Yeah.
So now that'll take away what would have been decent field position for LaSalle. Malley stepped out of bounds at the 40-yard line. They're going to back up the penalty from the 35. 6:47 to play first quarter. Still scoreless. Bob Long, Chris Carabello, Christian James.
You know, both teams so far are playing great defense. Defensive lines are really stepping up, saving the run from big gains. I'm really impressed by the defensive line so far, and I want to see that improve and keep working.
And you know what? This is going to be a field position game. Like that was a lost opportunity there because there was some nice field position. You know, the 40-yard line is a great place to start.
Here's the snap. Handoff inside, hit right in the backfield. Nice job by Manny Keelis to keep his feet. I'm sorry, that was Brett Malley, number 7, taking a rare handoff from the backfield.
Well, you know, one of the things that we're going to have to expect tonight is there's no tomorrow if you lose. So you're going to throw out everything. There's obviously plays that, you know, Brett Gordon and the offense have come up with that they're going to throw out there tonight.
And you may look at the stats, Chris, and say, well, that's not rare. He's taken the ball from on the running position 28 times, and now Isaiah Jones nearly loses the snap. It was a high snap, so he has to fall on it in the backfield. That'll be go down as a sack and back inside the 20-yard line at about the 16. But I mentioned 28 runs from the backfield for Malley. 17 of them, Chris, came against McDonough in the first game where Isaiah Jones went down. They were trying to feel out what their offense was going to be.
Exactly. One of the things I can't see, and I hope one of your eyes is better than mine, it does not look like Brendan O'Brien is playing center. It looks like someone is different in the center position.
Yes, it does. We'll get a number on that. And right now it's 3rd down and 13. 5:36 to play first quarter. Here comes the rush. They throw a screen and nearly into the arms of St. Joseph's Prep, the defender. He can't believe it. Number 52 on the play, Paul Hess, nearly had an interception. LaSalle fortunate to be able to go out and punt the football.
Yeah. But as I said, getting back to the center situation, it looks like Maloney is playing
It did look like
center.
Chris
It looks
Maloney.
like Chris Maloney is in center instead of Brennan O'Brien. And we've had a high snap. It would be the first time he's playing center all season. But he's a much bigger offensive lineman.
James Cherry back deep to receive, barely getting the punt off.
Now, Bob, I think he did I think that ball was tipped.
And it comes to a rest at the 41-yard line. LaSalle unable to block, and it was deflected on the play, claiming credit for it. Zach Bojes, number 36, who also plays corner for this Prep team.
Well, Bob, it was one of the things that was very apparent from the last meeting that the Prep's backups are very athletic, and some of them, the special teams is the only way they can get on the field. This is kids like this. This is their chance to shine, and they're extremely athletic. And look what they're doing. I mean, that's two punts in a row that that one was blocked.
Now St. Joe's Prep out in the pistol for the first time on the plus side of midfield at the 41. They fake the give. McCray steps up, fires over the middle. Good coverage there by Devin Smith. Put his left shoulder on the shoulder of number 5 running down the field. And the top receiver for this team, Brandon Sanders, had no shot because of the phenomenal coverage deep by Devin Smith.
And that's what we said. We can't let any of their receivers get behind our secondary. Devin Smith did a real nice job there. But on the flip side, I said it would be a game of field position, and the Prep starting on the 40-yard line. They tremendous place to start. You only have to go 40 yards.
Yeah, that was beautiful coverage by the cornerback for LaSalle. This is what you need to do. You need to play tight and play your best.
They fake the sweep to the outside. McCray keeps it and sticking with it. Danny Kuznetsov coming off the edge at the 3 technique position. No gain on the play. 3rd down and 10. Under 5 to play in a scoreless first quarter from a cold Northeast high school. Dipping into the 20s, Christian.
Yes, that's what we need to do. We need to get to LaSalle needs to get to the quarterback. LaSalle needs to push the offensive line and get those sacks, because those sacks are what gonna change the game tonight.
4 receiver set. This is a familiar look for St. Joseph's Prep. They rarely line up a tight end on the outside. It'll be Colby Burrell, number 24, in the backfield, along with Marquez McCray, and 4 receivers, 2 on each side. They need the 30 for a first down. Here's the shotgun snap. Flag is thrown, and it's going to be a false start against St. Joseph's Prep. They blow it dead.
Yeah, that's going to cost them 5.
Okay, Christians, now you're the defensive coordinator for a day here. 3rd and 14. You've been able to stop them once. They are on the plus side of midfield, so you consider that. What defense are you drawing up right now?
3rd and 14. I guess I'd just try to, I'm looking for them to pass, and I'm looking for the pass, for me to cover the pass, and for LaSalle to just get the pass down and just block it.
And I think that's what you're going to see. They look like they're going to rush for and drop the other 7. Christian, you got it right. Now he drops in the pocket, steps up, gets away from 1, can't get away from the 2nd. Garrett Zobel got the first hand on him behind the line of scrimmage, allows Maloney to come in and make the play. It'll be a gain of 4, but 4th down. Yeah,
an interesting situation. They didn't quite get enough. I thought they were really in 2-down territory. I thought that they might actually try to run the ball, pick up 7 or 8, and then go for it on 4th down. But he's in the punt.
The wind will help this punt here. A short punt. Malley calls for the fair catch and makes the play at the 10-yard line. LaSalle continues to operate in a field position battle. Right now, St. Joe's Prep has the better of that. Does not have the better of LaSalle on the scoreboard. Still scoreless. 3 minutes, 30 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, they bring them, by punting the ball, they get them down at the 10. I still think that they would have gone for it if they had gotten a few more yards, they would have gone for it on 4th down. as I said, even if they turn the ball over on the 30, it's a battle of field position. And with that punt, the Prep really win. That's a huge advantage.
Isaiah Jones back onto the field. LaSalle dressed in their white tops with the gold pants and the traditional gold helmet with the script LaSalle. In motion comes Octavius Carter. They fake the give there. Isaiah Jones hit, continues to move the legs. Might have gotten back to the line. 2nd down and 10 upcoming. That was a fight to get back to the line, Christian.
Yes, that was a fight. St. Joseph's Prep, the defense for them, they just came at him, and they didn't let him through. And that's what's going to be the factor tonight.
If you're St. Joe's Prep, you have to have a spy on Isaiah Jones. Someone is
Without
on him.
doubt.
There's no way one of them has been delegated to be the spy on Isaiah Jones. I also think someone's spying Marquez McCray. But they're not going to let Isaiah Jones beat them. They're going to need Joey Burnham. They're going to need Manny Quiles. They're going to need Octavius Carter to beat him.
Single coverage on the outside. 2 receivers out there. And now we have a flag on the play. Will it be offside or will it be a false start? It might have been offside causing the false start, and that's exactly the call. The 3 technique on the outside. Number 44, Bradley Coball, coming up to that spot. So now it'll be 2nd down and 5. St. Joe's Prep, a couple of those penalties that you see when a team's getting a little bit too aggressive. You see they're pinning their ears back. That's why LaSalle has gone to a couple screens. And LaSalle may have an opportunity. You're seeing pretty much, single coverage on the outside. This time looks like they have the 2 safety look. But there are opportunities to take a shot.
No, and the screen is effective if he can complete the pass. The last 2 have been a little high. I think that the screen is the better way to go.
And a timeout called by LaSalle as the play clock ticks down. 2 minutes and 17 seconds to play in the first quarter. It's 2nd down and 5 on the 15-yard line. They need the 20 for a first down. Our coverage here in EXPN production on BLS. Bob Long, Chris Carabello, and LaSalle class of 2020. Christian James on with us. Christian, your takeaways from the first 9+ minutes of football tonight.
The defense. The defense has really attacked the running game and gotten to the quarterbacks. And like I said, the defense is going to be the #1 winner of this game tonight. I guess, just the defense has really, for each team, for St. Joseph's Prep and LaSalle, has been really good tonight. And again, I'm excited to see them improve. But you know what? Slow and steady wins the race. So if they just keep chipping away at those little plays, I think that either team is going to take it downfield.
One thing I think that we've seen from St. Joseph's Prep guys, some inopportune penalties. Twice now they've taken themselves behind the chains with penalties on the offensive side, and now this time sets up a short field for LaSalle from a sticks perspective. Now Isaiah Jones pulls. He has some room to the outside, to the 15, out to the 20, and is wrestled out of bounds. Could be a late hit. He was hit probably a step or 2 after he got by the end line. This should be a first down.
Yeah, it should be a first down. I don't see a flag,
No
though,
flag
but I agree with you.
Thrown.
But Bob, something you said in the beginning of the game, at 6'4", 2, whatever he is, he's going to be hard to take down.
Yep. And that time, St. Joseph's Prep on the jet sweep, overcommitted to that side. Isaiah Jones, a great pull, puts him one-on-one with the 3 technique, and he's going to win that 85-90% of the time.
Yeah, we're going to need some misdirection plays to keep St. Joe's Prep on their heels, because they're really they're anticipating things. And again, as I said, I think there's a spy on Isaiah.
First down for LaSalle. They got right to the line, just north of the 20-yard line. 2 running backs in the backfield. Isaiah Jones fakes the give, throws to the outside. Good toss and good catch by Marvin Harrison Jr., who's taken on an increased role as the game has and as the season has gone on. That'll get about halfway in between the sticks. 2nd down and 5 upcoming.
And that's a nice. That's a high percentage play. Isaiah, he was open. He was running towards the sideline. Isaiah was throwing. That's the kind of play that's going to get yards.
That's exactly right. Keep chipping away at it. Slow and steady wins the race.
St. Joseph's Prep again goes with 3 up front, an odd man front here. 2 receivers on each side, ball on the near hash. Jones in the shotgun. They rush 4. And a pass high intended for Marvin Harrison Jr. Don't know that he would have gotten much after he made the play, but it came a bit high and sailed out of bounds. Third down, they mark it 6 yards away. They need just past the 30-yard line for a first down. 1 minute, 59 seconds to play in the first quarter. The score you see on your screen is correct. 0-0. LaSalle with their third possession offensively of the game. St. Joe's Prep has had 2. St. Joe's Prep has 1 safety high. 4 linebackers in there. They fake the give. Jones up the middle, tripped up about a yard short. Just past the 29-yard line. They needed just past the 30. And it'll be 4th down and 1. Ronnie Ross pointing upfield. He wants to go for it. But John Steinmetz sends out the field, I should say the punting unit. And if you're John Steinmetz, you almost wish that came with about 30 seconds left to play in this first quarter, because in about 90 seconds, they're going to get the wind going their direction.
Exactly. But you have to do this. He has to punt here. St.
Joe's Prep, they're coming after it again. Karish this time gets it off and just held up by the wind. Good hop, stays in bounds, tiptoeing along the sideline and gets all the way down to the 40. So that hits at the 48-yard line, and I'm telling you, inches from the sideline. Yeah. It's heading out of bounds and takes a left turn.
Obtained a left turn. Started spinning the other way.
So LaSalle will take every inch that they can get. Again, I think Daniel Karish did a masterful job of punting in that first quarter, especially with the first one that was short hop to him. And this wind is tough here tonight. You see that ball get up there and just get stopped. So now $1:11 to play in the first quarter. Still scoreless here from Northeast High School. Tonight's District 12 semifinal. Marquez McCray back onto the field. They hand it off to Colby Burrell, breaks 1. Daniel Kuznetsov holds on for life. It'll be a gain of 4, but would have been more if not for the shoestring tackle of number 52, Daniel Kuznetsov.
We've got about a minute to play now in this first quarter. So the Prep has about another minute with the wind to their back.
51 seconds to play in the pistol. They hand it off again to Burrell. Burrell runs into traffic and nothing doing. In between the tackles, gets back to the line, and that's it. Second down and 6.
We're up here with the LaSalle coaching staff, and you could hear them yell the same thing I just said, 1 play with the wind. He does. He's got Marquez McCray has all. Nope, they are not going to run a play.
I think they will here. Still 19 seconds to play. I think they may have to when it comes to the play clock. Burrell comes off to the field. In his place comes Cherry. They fake the give to Cherry. It's a screen. LaSalle reads it out. What a play.
It was great defense.
Chris Maloney makes the play on the not often used tight end, Anthony Lenahan. The sophomore, number 45, the big man made the play, and they tried to catch the Explorers off guard. Could not do it. 000 on the clock. They won't even get the punt off into the with the wind at their back. So LaSalle, what a great defensive play that was, and what a great defensive game this has been so far.
You know, Bob, I hate to make the comparison to another sport that you do real well, but, I mean, soccer's not a real high-scoring game, and that's what I think we're going to see a similar game tonight. I think that the team that scores here, I think that score is going to go a long way. I think points are going to be hard to come by. I think between the wind, the cold, and 2 really good defenses that aren't going to give up a lot of yards and a lot of points.
I want to say this. What a play by Chris Maloney. You had 3 defensive linemen just running after McCray. The recognition by Maloney to make that play. And I mentioned Lenahan rarely used. That's just his 5th catch of the year. And an offense that can spread it around pretty well.
I'm going to keep saying this. The defense is going to win this game. We've seen that all throughout the first quarter, and we are all amazed by this. Defense will come up and prevail and win.
So now St. Joe's Prep sit to kick it deep.
Let's see if they can get some pressure on him. They got a low snap.
Low snap. Decent kick. That's going to take a St. Joe's Prep hop and come to a stop at the 36-yard line. Again, not a great punt. I was expecting a little bit more roll there. It took a little bit of backspin.
Not bad field position to start. That's better. I mean, some of their best field position of the night.
It is. It's their best starting field position of the night at their own 36-yard line. And we now begin the second quarter here in EXPN production on Bob Long Sports. Isaiah Jones back onto the field. Ball in the middle of the field, 3 receivers to the near side. Here comes the screen. Malley makes the play. Decent blocking, and Malley gets out of bounds.
It's a nice start.
Gain of 5. Pretty good blocking by Harrison Jr. and Troy Holland. And I think they found something there because St. Joe's Prep is really showing the ability to get pressure with 4 and maybe an extra guy, but they're not needing to collapse their cornerbacks or bring their safeties up. So being able to get blocking out in space is a way to get some yards. That's one way to combat it. Here's Isaiah Jones with the keeper. Well done there. Number 20 makes the play. And what a job by Rayshad Wallace. Mentioned him in the pregame. Yeah. He's a guy that plays 3 positions for this team. Will put his hand in the dirt at the 3 technique, will play outside linebacker, and then can dip into coverage on a slot receiver. And he shows his athleticism right there with
he read that real well.
3rd down and 5. Just north of the 40. They need the 46 for a first down. 11 minutes, 10 seconds to play in the second quarter. This audio broadcast live on BLS and EXPN production. Here's the 3rd down look for LaSalle. 2 to each side. Jones looking for help and takes a huge sack. The ball came loose, but the referee said that Jones was down. That'll be a loss of 11 yards, and it'll be 4th down, so field position turns.
And he needed to get rid of that ball. I don't know why he was holding on to it. He could see them coming at him. I guess he just couldn't get it out to the sidelines.
James Cherry, the lone deep man for St. Joseph's Prep. Daniel Karish has his heels on his own 18-yard line. Karish launches it. It'll land at the 36-yard line, take a LaSalle hop, a good hop inside the 20-yard line, and that wind keeps humming all the way to the 18-yard line where St. Joseph's Prep will start on offense. Ten minutes, 10 seconds to play in a scoreless second quarter from Northeast High School. Bob Long, Chris Carabello, Christian James on. Christian, we knew this was going to happen. We saw this type of game coming. A 20-degree night. Again, nicer to be in here than out there, but it's some frozen tundra, and they're having trouble moving the football.
Yes, certainly. We are in heat, and it feels really good. I will tell you that. It feels really good.
Here's the screen pass. Caught there. Johnny Freeman makes one miss and is taken down. Looks to be a yard short of the first down at the 26-yard line. Now St. Joe's Prep, Christian goes to the screen game, gets some good downfield blocking.
I know. I really like the screen work tonight by both teams. This will really benefit them.
Now, this is going to be the first time that the Prep is throwing against the wind, or their offensive against the wind.
Single safety look. Watch the throw here, and they're going to go short. Catch made. That should be enough for a first down. Guys, I think there was an opportunity for McCray with good blocking to send somebody deep there because you had one-on-one, all 3 on the outside. The single safety was on the near side of the field.
I think his focus was to move the chains. I really do.
9 minutes, 36 seconds to play. First down, St. Joseph's Prep at their own 30-yard line. Here's the snap to McCray. Throws to the outside. Good catch there. LaSalle tries to rip the football out, and it results in a few more yards for Brandon Sanders, his 24th catch of the year.
Plus, I don't even think we've seen many first downs, so it's good to get a couple first downs and keep the ball moving.
And that's what they did, a half yard past the marker they needed. An 11-yard gain up to the 41-yard line. 9:25 to play. McCray in the shotgun. Fakes the give. Now takes off on the RPO. Runs through 1. Runs through 2. And gets 7 yards on the keeper. Marquez McCray putting his shoulder down into guys. Running through Brendan Daly. And needing 2 explorers to take him down. That's at the 48-yard line. They need the 49 of LaSalle for a first. Pistol formation. They give to Colby Burrell. Burrell going east-west, not going to go anywhere. He should lose a half yard. The Explorers all over it. Austin Lemke and Brennan Daly.
Yeah, he hit a wall and then went to the side. Got even less.
That's what you need. We haven't seen that in a while from LaSalle, so that's what you need when they start running the ball. You got to track him down and get him down.
8 minutes, 32 seconds to play, second quarter, scoreless. St. Joseph's Prep looking to move into LaSalle territory. Would be their second time into Explorer territory tonight. That loss of 1 sets up 3rd down and 4 from the 47.
See, I think McCrae's going to keep it.
McCrae scrambles with it, now does tuck and run. It'll be close. That might be a yard short, maybe a half yard short as he gets right to the 50, and they put the ball down right at the midfield stripe. So I believe that they're going to be short, and I think, guys, you're going to see St. Joseph's Prep stay on the field.
Yeah, they're going to go for it here. There's not going to be a lot of opportunities tonight, and this is you have to take advantage of this one.
Isaiah Jones onto the field as a safety. He'll come up to the line, try to make a play. Now they'll substitute him off late. And they are going to put the punting unit on the field. St. Joe's Prep now going to try to move quickly as well.
They have no intention of punting.
What do you see? They got the punt formation out there.
He's either keeping it, they're going to try to draw him off, they're going to use one of their timeouts. There we go.
Timeout called by St. Joseph's Prep, and I agree with you, Chris. I'd be surprised if we don't see Marquez McCrae out there with the offensive unit. For 4th down and 1, right at the midfield stripe, they need just even a little bit shy of 1 yard to get this first down.
And that's a situation where, I mean, that line is big enough that he can get behind them and he can pick up that yard. But Explorers can, if they can put up a wall, they can stop this.
I was shocked to see the punting unit out because the Prep's offense is moving so well. And I think that even 4th and 1, I think they could get past it. But
it's a game of field position, and I can understand going into the wind here.
And on a night like this,
do you trust your punter?
Yeah, on a night like this, he's going to have to punt into the wind. As I said, they've gotten to midfield.
And there's Marquez McCrae out there with him. Marquez Mason, number 13. He'll join him in the backfield. Kim Cooper, number 32, will line up as a fullback. They're going to go with 4 men in the backfield, quarterback, and then 2 fullbacks, followed by number 13, Marquez Mason. Now they head out of that formation. Give it up the middle. Mason will be close. Ball came loose.
Fumble, and the LaSalle has it.
Balls, they say that he was down, but the referee coming in right at the 50-yard line. They think it's LaSalle football. Referees are right by the midfield stripe, and LaSalle has the football.
That's huge. It's a huge turnover.
Guys, I think that they marked him down at the 50 versus the fumble. But either way, LaSalle did just enough defensively.
So you're saying he didn't even make it to the first down?
That's my belief.
Okay.
And you said it, Chris, at the beginning, at the top of the hour, or top of the broadcast. The turnovers are going to be a big factor, and this was just a big factor. Turnover by St. Joe's Prep.
Now LaSalle has the football, under 8 minutes to play, second quarter. Isaiah Jones in the shotgun. He'll throw the screen. Octavius Carter there has to make one miss. Runs right into his own man after being taken down by Bradley Coball. It will be a gain of 9 yards.
Yeah, see, that's big. That's big yards.
Look at this. They have him 10 yards, right on the marker. First down, LaSalle.
8-9 yards are big yards on a night like this.
And that one's 10 now.
Yeah, so that's big.
Favorable spot, I think, because he was pushed backwards by Harrison as he went down into him. Knee went down early. But LaSalle gets the first down nonetheless. St. Joe's Prep late on the shift on the defensive line. Now Isaiah Jones looks to the sideline, and they'll adjust. 7:27 to play, clock ticking. Jones runs off tackle, then turns upfield to the 30, 25, runs through a defender, continues to churn the legs, and is out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Big gain for Isaiah Jones.
And he cut back. They were on him. He cut back, and the guy spying him got blocked by his own teammate. Couldn't get to him, and Isaiah had open field.
There's that running game. I was hoping for Isaiah Jones and the LaSalle Explorers, and I'm really happy to see that's getting started.
First down and 10. They mark him at the 17. Ball on the near hash.
Now let's see the play calling.
They have a tight end on the strong side of the field along with 2 wide receivers. In motion comes Marvin Harrison Jr. Isaiah Jones keeps the football. He nearly lost that. He pulled that extremely late and was very fortunate to hold on to the football. Was taken down in the backfield, a loss of 1.
I guess that was his call to pull the ball back. But as I said, I thought Marvin Harrison Jr. had open field on the outside. I don't think he should have done that. I think he should have handed the ball off.
The tough thing there, when you have the ball on the near side and you run that jet sweep to the near side, there's just not as much real estate. But that one was on Isaiah Jones for the late pull. 2nd down 11, 6:11 to play. Malley and the bad snap. Isaiah Jones fortunate to come up with it and dives forward. He may have still lost 1 yard or 2 yards, but LaSalle holds on to the football, the most important thing after you see that snap.
They do. And now one of the things you have to look at here on 3rd down is with the win, they are in Karish kick territory.
No doubt about it.
It's in their best interest to get to the middle of the field and to pick up, to get some positive yards, even if it's only 3 or 4.
The
but
middle of the field or wherever Karish is comfortable.
Where he's comfortable with. You're absolutely right, Bob.
Near side. 5:33 to play. 3rd down, and they mark it as 11. St. Joe's Prep has a late switch. They move DeJulius into the safety position, and now LaSalle has to burn a timeout.
It's
Again,
better that they
not the end of the world.
No, better they burn the timeout than lose the 5 yards. The 5 yards is critical here because it just puts Karish further back if they have to kick.
You know, this timeout also helps them calm down and reassess and talk over some new strategies that they may need, more screen passes, you know, whatever it may be, or even just to keep running and give Karish a good enough position where he can knock it through.
John Steinmetz was not happy when they had to call that timeout, but at the end of the day, they still have 1 timeout to play with here in this first half. 5:23 to play. You're getting down to it. This is the most important play of the first half so far in a scoreless affair. Good to get it right. St. Joe's Prep also had a late shift there. So now we'll see what they draw up. They'll take Liam Train of the tight end off the field, and they'll go with 4 wide receivers. St. Joe's Prep's been able to get to the quarterback. Expect them to bring it here. They go with the lob, and it's high and wide, intended for Troy Holland down the near side, but that ball a little bit flat and well behind. So now it should be Daniel Karish to kick it from 37 yards away.
And he's going to need protection. They're going to have to keep penetration from the out. They're going to have to keep the Prep from giving penetration to the outside. They're very quick on the outside.
The holder will be Sean Daly. Daniel Karish steps back. It will be a 37-yard look. Wind at his back. That kick is up. It has the distance. It is good. 3-0 LaSalle.
It's big points.
On the board first with 5:13 to play in the second quarter.
He had the leg. They held off the Prep's special teams defenders, and those 3 points are critical. The points are going to be hard to come by today.
Now it's just the defense. LaSalle Explorers are going to have to step up on defense to show that 3 stands up to its name.
And that 3 points is a direct corollary of the fact that LaSalle was going this way with the football, from right to left, as the wind howls from right to left here at Northeast High School. Good long kick from Daniel Karish, don't get me wrong, but that's not going through the uprights if he's kicking the other way from the same distance. This is an audio broadcast, the old school radio here on BLS, an EXPN production with Bob Long, Chris Carabello, and 2020 LaSalle student Christian James. Great to have you back, my friend. This is now your 3rd game with us, and really you and Jason have been really the linchpins of what we've done so far this year. We appreciate it, my friend. Great job.
Thank you very much. I'm happy. I'm always happy to be here.
Now he's kicking off from one of the other hash marks, which is interesting.
And the ball came off the tee, so they'll get one more opportunity to reset it.
Before we have to hold.
Exactly. 5 minutes, 13 seconds to play.
Karish certainly has the leg to put this ball in the end zone, or at least down to the goal line, and to prevent any type of return.
Garish now approaches, swings the leg, and drills a low liner. That'll get into the end zone. St. Joe's Prep with no opportunity to return that one. It'll be Marquez McCray with an opportunity to answer on the offensive side of the ball for St. Joseph's Prep.
You know, at the top of the game, we talked about some key things, or we mentioned some key things, and one of them is not to let St. Joe's Prep's special teams beat you. They had some penetration on the punts, but clearly not on the field goal. And as I said, not let any of their return teams give them real positive yardage and really good field position. So that's a great kick by Garish to put them down on the 20-yard line, make them have to go 80 yards.
They'll go against the wind again. St. Joseph's Prep perfect this year. An undefeated record, including a 2-touchdown win against LaSalle 4 weeks ago. Here's the handoff up the middle. Good push there. Marquez Mason gets 9 to start the drive, up in between the tackles.
Yeah, that was nice yardage on that handoff.
2nd down and 2. A little shift in the middle between the one techniques. Now McCray throws it low and incomplete. Double clutch there. Was looking for number 16, Brian Whitmore. Whitmore has not been a part of the offense much this year and dropped the football.
Yeah, Devin Smith got in there and got a hand on it.
You know, that was a great cover, too. You saw him, and then you just went at him, and he dropped the ball.
3rd down and 2. 4:46 to play. They need the 30 for a first down. McCray now evaluates the defense, looks to the sidelines. LaSalle moving the linebackers. Austin Lemke comes off the right-hand side, now comes back to the middle. Here's the give up the middle. They get enough.
They got it.
Marquez Mason up the middle. Tough yards. Mason, just a junior at 5'8", 170 pounds, and it didn't look like anybody wanted to tackle him there. That's a strong run from the junior.
You know, I'm looking at Marquez McCray out there without gloves on. And I mean, I'm wearing gloves here in the booth. I have to wonder how cold his hand. He got it.
An incomplete pass. LaSalle thought they had an interception. McCray, a simple pull on an RPO, tried to throw a crossing pattern. What a play by Chris Maloney to go up and try to get the football. It was a hard turf field at Northeast High School that was the difference there.
Right. He
popped it loose.
He had it. He came down and it popped out.
Four-man front for LaSalle. 2nd down and 10 after the incompletion. Explorers lead 3-0. Trip to the city championship and advancing in the state playoffs on the line. Here comes Liam Trainer from the outside. The give is up the middle. Great job by LaSalle's defensive line to stand up. Garrett Zobel in there on the stop.
Chris Maloney is playing out of his mind. He is playing like someone who does not want to play their last football game. I mean, and he's playing both sides of the ball, and he's playing center, and he's playing defensive end, and which are two very difficult things to do because it's tough to stay fresh, and yet he's doing it at a very, very high level.
From a 3-technique perspective, he's playing unbelievably. Garrett Zobel at the 1 technique is just stuffing holes right now as well. Now McCray steps up, makes Lemke miss, and has some room to run up to midfield. Had that ball loose as he fell backwards to the 46-yard line of LaSalle. A big gain for Marquez McCray.
No big play, and that's what they got.
The big one there is Austin Lemke being overcommitted to the near side sideline, and Marquez McCray putting his foot in the dirt and going the other way.
And they know that from the first game because the identical thing happened. Lemke overcommitted, and McCray went all the way for a touchdown.
Here's the give up the middle. Marquez Mason stood up there. Again, Maloney with first touch.
St. Joe's Preps needs those big plays. You know, LaSalle Explorers don't really need them, and it's just going to have to come up to how well they cover. You know, that was even tough. He had wide open, and there was LaSalle Explorers trying to chase him, but he was just too fast.
Yep.
So.
Yep, you're exactly right. He is a phenomenally talented runner. Now they're going to play action, and he takes the shot deep. There is a man deep. And it's nearly intercepted. Owen Pagini, number 26, had a beat on it. The ball was underthrown.
Yeah, it was actually the only person that could have caught that was Owen Pagini. That was a really risky thing. You know, Christian, something you just said, they're perhaps going for big plays. I mean, they get almost a broken play because Lemke overcommits there and McCray picks up big yards. But LaSalle's looking to sustain drives to chip away. The Prep's looking to make it on big plays. That was an ill-advised throw.
He was looking for Brandon Sanders, and against the wind, That ball just got caught up in the wind. Sanders absolutely had Pagini beat. 3rd down and 8. 1 safety deep for LaSalle. 4 wide receivers for the Prep. McCray steps up. Now takes off with it. Has room and has a first down. Gets a block at the 35-yard line and walks out of bounds at the 30. That will be a gain of 16 yards and a first down. And, guys, that's just not committing a spy there.
No.
I don't know. There's 4 wide receivers out there. They spread you out. They make it really difficult.
It was just a game of chase, just like that other play.
They held off the LaSalle defenders enough that he got to the outside, and you're right, Bob. There was no spy there. No one to stop him.
Here comes a screen. Sanders has it. Catches it at the 30. Stiff arms one. Owen Pagini stays with it. It will be a gain of about 7 yards after all, but Pagini saved more.
Yeah, that was nice positive yards from the Prep.
2nd down and 2. 2 minutes, 56 seconds to play.
Prep getting a man off the field.
Stoppage on the play. Looks like there may have been an injury. Johnny Freeman was slow getting off. Now a tight formation here. Under 3 minutes to play. Just 1 wide receiver out deep. McCray looking for a screen. Nobody there. Nearly intercepted. Again, Maloney in there. He is picking out every screen.
Almost as if he's the spy for the screen. I still haven't quite figured out who's the spy for McCray. But
I mean, there's no designated spy on a screen. It's just who realizes it's coming.
It's coming. You're right.
Unbelievable awareness right now.
You know, I think LaSalle has the screen. LaSalle has the pass. It's the running game from the St. Joe's Prep quarterback that they're really trying to fear, because when he gets out of the pocket, like I said, he's running and he's running. He's got open field, and LaSalle's just chasing him. Plus, he's got blockers too. And
they're overcommitting on the penetration, which makes it really difficult to stop him.
Handoff up the middle. Nothing doing. LaSalle may have even gotten him for a loss. It will be 4th down and 3.
Yeah, but this is 4-down territory for the Prep. I mean, they're not going to punt the ball, and they're too far to kick.
St. Joe's Prep, they went to the I formation, ran it up the middle. And again, you got Garrett Sobel plugging all the gaps. The big man standing at the 1 technique. Great play, and allowing the linebackers to get into the backfield.
This is a big possession right here. Now they're going to try to draw him off. They're going to try to draw him off. They're going to use a timeout.
And actually, LaSalle will use the timeout.
Okay.
A little bit of confusion there on the defensive end.
I like that use of the timeout. I really do.
Last one of the half. 2 minutes, 14 seconds to play. The score, as you see it on your screen. LaSalle 3, St. Joe's Prep nothing late in the 2nd quarter. Phenomenal evening for football. I tell you what, this is where the tough get going, folks. This is a grind-it-out type game, a field position game, and quite frankly, who's going to be tougher?
Don't be surprised if the Prep doesn't try to draw them off and then use another timeout on their own.
Still 2 remaining for the Hawks.
Yeah, because this is their last. I mean, if they turn the ball over here to LaSalle, they're probably not going to get the ball back this half. So they want to try to score before the half.
Remember, guys, that the Hawks of St. Joe's Prep will receive the 2nd half kickoff as well. LaSalle got the first possession of the game.
Like you said, Chris, this is going to be big for the Prep, and we're going to have to see what happens, because they obviously can't go for a field goal. They're right into the wind. I'm thinking screen pass here or give it to McCray.
I think McCray's going to keep it. Yeah, McCray's going to keep it.
It's an empty backfield. They have a tight end to the outside, just 1 receiver on each side. McCray takes off with it up the middle, flipped over, and will have enough for a first down. He got about 2. And he continued to run the football, actually about another 6 yards, but the referees had him down.
Right, I don't think he's getting the other 6 yards.
At just south of the 20-yard line. 2 minutes, 10 seconds to play.
Yeah, the play there was always for him to keep it. It was an empty backfield.
They're just going to keep running the ball, I think. I don't see a pass coming because LaSalle has the pass covered. They're just going to keep running it.
Under 2 minutes to play.
The only thing about that, Christian, is they may need to throw the pass to stop the clock.
There you go. I think you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
I mean, they do have some timeouts, but they can ill afford just to keep everything on the ground.
Here's a throw across the middle, high, and dropped. What a play there. Johnny Freeman got 2 hands on it. Devin Smith hits him straight in the back, and that jarred it loose. It's a big-time play, and Devin Smith is stepping up. He's changed from the safety to the cornerback position this year as Isaiah Jones has come in and played safety when he's returned healthy. And he's done a great job at that position. Tight formation here, 2nd down and 10.
So now here could be a place where they run it or McCray tries to keep it.
McCray will throw a screen, and nice play by LaSalle. They thought that perhaps he wasn't down. That's a nice play by Jack Sutton. But 2 explorers in there on the play.
The clock's running, and they got no yardage.
1:25 to play. St. Joe's Prep with 2 timeouts. 3rd and 8. LaSalle trying to stand up defensively here at the end of the first half.
This is a risky field goal at 32 yards.
It's St. Joe's Prep's best offensive drive, and you're right, 32, 33 yards if they don't get any additional yardage here.
The Prep is giving them a run for their money, literally.
They fake the jet sweep. Marquez McCray up the middle, taken down. It will be short.
I'm not sure he wasn't held.
I don't think LaSalle would even accept the penalty at that point. As we tick under 36, 4th down, they're going to run the field goal unit onto the field. I don't see any reason why they're running the unit onto the field. Just take it down to 0 on the play clock and then call that timeout before
I think that's what they're going to do.
The delay is called. But Tagano does rush out onto the field along with Brandon Sanders, who will hold. The kick will be from 30 yards away. Center of the field. They get it down. The kick is up. And it is good. Anthony Tagano slipped it in the side, and a really, really good job by St. Joseph's Prep to answer at the end of the first half. 13.3 seconds on the clock. It's 3 apiece.
Now, what do you do if you're LaSalle?
Try to return it deep and then kneel the football.
Yes.
Unless you get it on the plus side of midfield.
Right.
But to your point, if you get it anywhere near midfield, you can try to chuck it deep, but I don't see the cost-benefit. I don't see it.
We have 2 great defenses so far in this game, no timeouts. So I'm just thinking, do you end it right now? That might be risky, or do you just try to risk it because, again, you have 13.3 seconds left?
I'll tell you this, Christian. Let's see what happens on this kickoff, and Tagano is going to have a tough time getting it deep. With 13.3 to play, we'll see where LaSalle can take this one back.
I don't think he's going to kick it deep. I think he's going to kick it hard to either Daly, someone right there in the middle of the field.
Tagano steps back. 13.3 seconds to play. LaSalle deep to receive. Heels on the 10-yard line. Tagano kicks a low liner. It's caught there. Here comes number 4, Joey Burnham, to the outside. Burnham cuts up the middle, is hit at the 40, stood up and dropped. And 3.6 on the clock. It looked like he was down to me at about the 6-second mark. But LaSalle's going to kneel this football and go to the half.
They're going to take a
at 3.
He's not going to throw deep. There's no reason. You could.
A big drive for St. Joe's Prep, guys. That is a team that has some gut and has some fire in them. That was, again, a championship caliber drive to answer going into the wind right before the half.
And you know what? That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that LaSalle is just going to knee it because there's really no point and no chance with
They hand it up the middle to Burnham, gain of 8, and that'll be the end of the first half. Off to the locker rooms they go, 3 apiece.
All said and done, I think it's a great half so far, and we're in for a great rest of the game, too.
It's what I expected. I expected a low-scoring game. The fact that we have 2 field goals, we're starting the second half the way we started the first half. We're tied. St. Joe's Prep's going to get the ball now to start the second half. LaSalle's going to have to step up big. This is where LaSalle got hurt in the last game. They didn't play the third quarter. They played a very, very poor third quarter. The Prep made some adjustments. They came out strong, and LaSalle really didn't respond to that. Let's see what happens. Can the Explorers come out and respond to whatever Gabe Infante makes a change?
I want to remind everyone, it is extremely cold out here, so they're going to try to get warmed up, just just try to come back on the second half and just feel warm and feel ready, because it is really cold. And I was talking to senior offensive guard Gray Quick, and he said that the coldness was going to be a big factor to this game. And you know what? It might have shown, it might have not, but just furthermore, it's really cold tonight.
Oh, I think it showed, and Greg Quick is quite the authority, of course, on all things LaSalle football. I also could have told you that the wind chill was going to have a factor, and it certainly has.
And the wind. Not only just the chill, but the wind itself. It could be a warm wind, and it would still have an effect. The fact that it's cold is making it worse.
What a game we have so far. Thanks, everybody, for being a part of our old-school radio broadcast here on BLS. It's an EXPN production. Bob Long, Chris Carabello, and our student, class of 2020. His name is Christian James, and he's alongside all season long. We'll take a break and come back for the halftime show. Looking to track down Bill Wassilenko. He's an authority, and Christian will get to meet him, and we'll talk to him about everything that is LaSalle sports and what's been a great one so far.
Bob Long Sports here, and I want to urge all our listeners to visit our friends at Dunphy Ford in the Northeast.
Dunphy Ford has all the latest Ford models, trucks, SUVs, and sedans.
They also have a wide selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs as well.
Owned by a LaSalle graduate and a proud sponsor of Explorers basketball, Dunphy Ford should be your first stop to buy or lease a new car.
Visit them at 7700 Frankfort Avenue in the Northeast or at dunphyford.com. Elmark Signs and Graphics, your choice for custom signs and design, has been servicing the Philadelphia area for over 30 years. From illuminated signs to vehicle wraps, Elmark Signs is your choice for all your custom signs needs. Elmark delivers high-quality signs with a courteous, helpful, and experienced staff. Visit them at elmarksigns.com or give them a call at 610-692-0525. Again, that's elmarksigns.com, 610-692-0525. Go check out their website for some great examples of signs that Elmark has created, and be sure to tell them that Bob Long Sports sent you. elmarksigns.com, your choice for custom signs and design.
Welcome back to Northeast High School. What a game we have so far in the bitter, bitter cold, dipping into the 20s here and dipping in here to talk with us. I'm sure he wants to have his voice heard, but I also think that he wants to get warm. His name is Bill Wassilenko. He is a LaSalle football historian, and that term is not given lightly. He is the preeminent source of LaSalle news, LaSalle information. He's put together some wonderful features and pieces that you can check out about LaSalle history and everything that's great that's been in the Catholic League now and in the past. Bill, welcome. Hope you get warm, and what are you seeing out there so far tonight?
Well, this rivalry, of course, in the pros is probably most comparable to the Packers and the Bears, and it's sort of like the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field out there right now with a 3-3 tie, field position being very important, the wind blowing from the west. So one team has an advantage one quarter, one team the other, but it's a real tug of war out there right now, and nobody knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, you mentioned off air the great history of LaSalle versus St. Joseph's Prep. This game reminds you a little bit of an early matchup between the two teams.
Yeah, it was in 1916, and I wasn't there, but the first game ever between LaSalle and St. Joseph's Prep was a 0-0 tie. No doubt field position and the wind made a difference in that game too, and that's what we sort of have here. But right now, this takes me back to 2006 on another bitterly cold night when a heavily favored prep team took on LaSalle in the Catholic League Championship, and LaSalle won that game 14-7. And a little more scoring, but a lot of defense in that game, much like this game. And so we still don't know what's going to happen in that second half. We haven't had any significant turnovers that maybe could swing the game one way or the other. So both teams are really in a boxing match with each other right now, just waiting for someone to make a mistake.
LaSalle has, I think, done a great job against St. Joe's Prep defensively, really with the exception of that last possession. And, really, when you think about that last possession, it's Marquez McCray making some great individual plays. And, of course, Anthony Tagano and Daniel Karish knocking in some great field goals. What do you think, and maybe there hasn't been a determinant yet, but what do you think has been the key to this game and the key to LaSalle putting themselves in a position here to come into the second half and be even?
When LaSalle plays a prep, both this year and in past years, the prep has had some really big, long plays and significant plays, whether it be block punts or interceptions that have really changed the course of those games and taken them, far ahead in those games. LaSalle hasn't made any of those mistakes yet. It's really going to be, to me, a battle of the number 4 teams. Isaiah Jones on LaSalle's side and Marquez McCray on the prep side. Both are making really good decisions on when to run with the ball. They are really sort of leading their teams on offense. They are throwing the ball despite the cold and despite the wind. And, one key play could turn this game around for either team. But look for the number 4 teams, Jones and McCray, to really be the key players in the second half.
Yeah, the defense, too. I really am loving to see the defense second half. They're just going to have to get the run game. They're going to have to get McCray when he gets open, not allow those big pockets to open up because, like I said, once those big pockets open up, it's just a big game of chase, and they can't let that. Unfortunately, it's not. It's going to be hard, but they're just going to have to watch out. The passing for LaSalle's defense and St. Joe's Prep defense, they've got that covered. They're covering their man. They're not letting the ball get past. They're not letting the ball get to the man. The screen passes are going to really benefit each team because the defense is having trouble reading it because they're going to go long.
Yep.
So I think the screen passes will work for both teams, and especially, like I said, defenses are going to have to cover the runs and watch out for McCray when he comes out of the pocket.
Yeah, I mean, the screen pass, Bill, has been very, very much a key part of both of the offenses. LaSalle, from a defensive perspective, has made a couple big spots, big stops there, and St. Joe's Prep has put themselves behind the chains a little bit. We'll take a step back as we have under 8 minutes now until the second half starts and discuss with you the rivalry itself. And I know that before every St. Joe's Prep game, you guys host a lunch. I know that you've put together some great video features on the rivalry. What does the LaSalle versus St. Joe's Prep rivalry mean to Bill Wassilenko?
Well, we are sort of prep schools, both of us. And LaSalle was actually called LaSalle Prep back in the 20s. So in some respect, we're different from the archdiocesan schools already. So we had a natural rivalry in that manner. But it's a rivalry that really had a lot of stops and starts. LaSalle was not in the Catholic League for some period of time in the 20s, and so they didn't play St. Joe's Prep then. LaSalle was dominant over Prep in the early to mid-50s, and then St. Joe's Prep dropped out of the Catholic League between 1956 and 62. When they came back, they were in the Southern Division, and they didn't play LaSalle till 1969. And finally, the Thanksgiving Day rivalry started in 1976. In 1999, when they both joined the Red Division, the large division teams, now you were playing each other twice a year. So that's where the rivalry really picked up. You had a regular season game in which, they got to battle each other, and then there was always that Thanksgiving Day game to take bragging rights home for the rest of the winter until you hooked up again the next year. So I think it's just built up in a greater sense, since the mid-2000s. And this is now the 6th consecutive year that LaSalle and the Prep have played in this game, once called the Philadelphia Catholic League Championship. Now I believe it's called either the second round of the PIAA playoffs or the semifinal game for District 12, but it just doesn't have the romanticism, if you will, of that Catholic League Championship anymore. But don't tell that to the players because it really doesn't matter to them out on that field.
State bragging rights on the line. Maybe this game doesn't have the significance that it once did, but the opportunities for these players to advance in a state playoff is now something different that players in that 2006 game did not have. Since the opportunity began, when LaSalle and St. Joe's Prep joined the PIAA, have you seen either a ratchet up or a change in the rivalry itself?
I think playing this game is trying to get to the top of the mountain and not getting to see what's over the mountain. In 2008, getting past actually Father Judge that year, all of a sudden LaSalle got to play in a city title game, and they lost to Washington on this field on a windy, cold afternoon.
With Bob Long in the Explorer mascot, if you can believe that.
And then in 2009, they came back to defeat the Prep. They defeated George Washington, and then you finally got over the mountain to see something you never saw before. which was really a state type of playoff game, and going up to Easton in the snow and slush to win up there. So I think that this is very similar right now. You're really just looking to get to the top of the mountain and not worrying about anything else until you get to the top, and then see what lies ahead. And Northeast and Central are thousands of miles away as far as this team is concerned. All they're interested now is in the second half and coming out to defeat St. Joe's Prep, and then they'll take anything after that. But let's just worry about the second half.
Bill Wasilenko, he is a newly inducted member of the Hall of Athletics at LaSalle for his many years of service to the LaSalle community, for the information he's been able to provide, and his commitment to being a true steward of LaSalle College High School football. I know it's been a couple months, but what does that mean to you when I say something like that?
It still is sort of numbing that when Marty Stanzak called me and I was at work and told me that, it still sort of is a little hard to believe. And many people know this from talking to me or hearing me say this, that, you know, me being in the Hall of Athletics, I was once cut from JV bowling. So when you get cut from JV bowling, you really shouldn't be in any hall of anything. But anyway, I guess the labor of love, if you will, of getting involved in LaSalle football and the history has been just wonderful. And some of the things that you get to do for people that you don't even know you're doing has really been very rewarding for me. So it's really nice to see and hear people talk to me about that and congratulate me. But it is still quite humbling that this actually did happen.
Well, you've been a real advocate for us and a really big asset for us, whether it's gathering information or giving us little tidbits that help, and of course promoting what we do here. You know, for me, for the students like Christian and Danny last year, and Jason, who's been with us all this year. So we certainly appreciate it, and we just want to let you know that.
Thanks very much, Bob. You know, it's a real treat for me to be here, and because number one, because it's warmer in here than out in the stands, but to get to talk to you on the air is a real treat for me too.
It is. Now, maybe the words that you really didn't want to hear. We're gonna have to let you go, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the game. It is cold out there, so bundle up, and thanks for all you do.
Well, I hope we get to see a lot of white uniforms run on the field like crazy at the end of the game, and that we know what will have happened if that occurs. So I won't be out there on the field with them, but I'll be there in spirit.
Absolutely. Bill Wasilenko, a member of the LaSalle Hall of Athletics, and our distinguished guest here at half. Thanks so much for coming on.
Okay, take care, and go LaSalle.
Bill Wasilenko, our guest. Thanks again to him for coming on. Bob Long, Christian James here, as well as Chris Carabello. We'll take a break and come back for the beginning of the second half. An EXPN production here on BLS.
Bob Long from Bob Long Sports here, and I want to urge all our listeners to visit our friends at Dunphy Ford in the Northeast.
Dunphy Ford has all the latest Ford models, trucks, SUVs, and sedans.
They also have a wide selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs as well.
Owned by a LaSalle graduate and a proud sponsor of Explorers basketball, Dunphy Ford should be your first stop to buy or lease a new car.
Visit them at 7700 Frankfort Avenue in the Northeast or at dunphyford.com.
Check out the team.
Elmark.
Hi, this is Rob Stott with Bob Long Sports. BLS is the official host of the pregame show for the Philadelphia Soul. Be sure to tune in before every home game for featured interviews with head coach Clint Dolzell and quarterback Dan Radeball, as well as player profiles. We even get the opportunity to speak with AFL Commissioner Scott Butera.
Commissioner of the Arena Football League, Scott Butera on the line.
You do a tremendous job. Of all the, local broadcast teams, by far Philadelphia is the gold standard in our league. I wish they all could be like that because you really understand our game, you promote it well.
So be sure to tune in 30 minutes before every home game and check at Bob Long Sports on Twitter for programming updates.
This is Bob Long here, and you certainly know me from BLS, doing LaSalle College High School broadcasts, our weekly radio shows, and everything in between. However, during the 9 to 5, I am a commercial banker in the greater Philadelphia area. If your business is looking for financing or any other type of assistance, you can reach me at 215-328-2578. That's 215-328-2578. I've had experience in the energy industry, healthcare, public finance, as well as in manufacturing and leasing. Bob Long, a commercial banker in the greater Philadelphia market,
helping your businesses grow. Bob Long from Bob Long Sports here, and I want to tell you about the good folks over at City Year Philadelphia. Every day, the dedicated young adults at City Year make an impact in high-need schools in Philadelphia and in 26 other cities across the country by serving students who need extra help to stay on track to graduate. If you are ages 17 to 24 and are interested in serving as a tutor, role model, or mentor, check out the inspiring stories at #MakeBetterHappen. City Year is currently accepting applicants for the next school year.
Hey Bob Long sports fans, how can you stay involved with the site anytime? A reminder to follow us on Twitter at Bob Long Sports. You can also access our Facebook group. Just search Bob Long Sports and it'll come right up. And then, if you have a smartphone, you can listen to any of our live programming by visiting the Ustream app, that's USTREAM, searching Bob Long Sports, all one word, and you can access any live programming on the Bob Long Sports Network. So be sure to stay connected to Bob Long Sports.
Bob Long Sports, your daily dose of sports. Sports.
BobLongSports.com gives you not only the best radio broadcasts on the internet, but plenty of articles as well. Stay up to date on your Penn State football team, stay up to date on college football, the MLB, the NFL, and every other major sport out there. Tune in to all the radio shows and be sure to check our website regularly to see what content we have up now. And when you hear that jingle,
Bob Long Sports, your daily dose of sports. Sports.
You know you're in the right place. Elmark Signs and Graphics, your choice for custom signs and design, has been servicing the Philadelphia area for over 30 years. From illuminated signs to vehicle wraps, Elmark Signs is your choice for all your custom signs needs. Elmark delivers high-quality signs with a courteous, helpful, and experienced staff. Visit them at elmarksigns.com or give them a call at 610-692-0525. Again, that's elmarksigns.com, 610-692-0525. Go check out their website for some great examples of signs that Elmark has created, and be sure to tell them that Bob Long Sports sent you. elmarksigns.com, your choice for custom signs and design. Bob Long from Bob Long Sports here, and I want to urge all our listeners to visit our friends at Dunphy Ford in the Northeast.
Dunphy Ford has all the latest Ford models, trucks, SUVs, and sedans.
They also have a wide selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs as well.
Owned by a LaSalle graduate and a proud sponsor of Explorers basketball, Dunphy Ford should be your first stop to buy or lease a new car.
Visit them at 7700 Frankfort Avenue in the Northeast or at dunphyford.com.
This is Bob Long here, and you certainly know me from BLS, doing LaSalle College High School broadcasts, our weekly radio shows, and everything in between. However, during the 9 to 5, I am a commercial banker in the greater Philadelphia area. If your business is looking for financing or any other type of assistance, you can reach me at 215-328-2578. That's 215-328-2578. I've had experience in the energy industry, healthcare, public finance, as well as in manufacturing and leasing. Bob Long, a commercial banker in the greater Philadelphia market, helping your businesses grow.
Welcome back, everybody. We are live here at Northeast High School, the site of tonight's District 12 semifinal, a part of the state playoffs between LaSalle and St. Joseph's Prep. Bob Long, Chris Carabello, and we have Christian James alongside. Very excited to be here, and it is a 3-3 game as we begin the second half. But, Christian, it's really great to have you here tonight. I'm really excited that you're here, and I understand that there's somebody special that is the reason that you're here tonight, and you've been able to come with us tonight to this broadcast.
Yes, you know, I want to wish my lovely girlfriend a happy birthday. Her name is Allie, and I want to tell her that I love her, and I can't wait to see her.
That's great. Well, that's very sweet, and we appreciate Allie letting us have Christian services and borrow him for a Friday night on her birthday, nonetheless.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to be here, but I do miss her too deeply. So,
Well, it's my sincere hope that the Explorers can deliver her a present.
we all love that. Yeah, this would be a perfect present.
You could
for
tell her
anyone.
that you wrapped it up with a bow, delivered it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's going to be Isaiah Jones who does that, but regardless.
So speaking of Isaiah Jones, I feel bad because I have not mentioned him at all. Isaiah Jones, he is starting to get the run together, and we've noticed that and we've seen that. His offensive line is starting to build a hole for him to enter. Again, on the LaSalle side, the screens are working. Keep doing it. You got to complete it, though, because we've seen a lot of over-the-head passes. So if you get the screen going, if you get a lot of good running games going, boom.
You know, one of the other things that
Like John Madden. Boom.
We talked about Chris Maloney on the defensive side. Now he's moved to center. I can't see where they put Brendan O'Ryan on the field, or even if he's on the field. But they have Chris Maloney at center. He's made 2 high snaps and another one that was a little questionable. So as great as he's playing on defense, it's going to take him a while to get in sync. And you can see him down on the sideline where he is working with Isaiah Jones on that shotgun. And if the two of them can be in sync, you know, Christian, as you said, I'm not sure where this can go.
Boom.
Now, the good news here is it looks as if the Explorers will have the wind to their back in the fourth quarter.
That's exactly right. They're going to kick off from left to right. The wind's still howling. In fact, guys, I look at that flag out there. It's howling harder than it was in the first half.
Yeah, see, we're here in this nice warm booth. See, he's going to, okay, so Devin Smith's going to have to hold the ball. Daniel Karrasch can't even get it on the tee. That's how much it's howling.
I think I just knocked a lot of people out of their chairs right now. So
Tyler Curran with the text in. He was on with us last week. He said, "Oh my goodness, Christian." He loves it. He's very entertained. Here's Daniel Karrasch. He'll kick it deep. And it's a low bouncing kick. Well done there. Picked up by James Cherry. He's going to beeline towards the sideline. Now cuts up the middle of the field. Good tackle there. Ball came loose.
Oh, we got it.
Brendan Daly on the football. James Cherry arguing, pleading.
He's saying he was down. Now, this is interesting. They are not pointing yet. They are not pointing.
Having a discussion.
I think they're going to say his knee was down.
And it's St. Joe's Prep
Yeah,
football.
they're going to say his knee was down. I'm not
After
sure
the
about that.
discussion.
Without replay, there's no way to know. If we were doing a video broadcast, we could rewind, but
this is where replay comes in handy every time.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
hard. It's hard for
and
high
it's
school.
questionable.
Yes.
I mean, you have high school referees that have to make a very difficult call. Whether his knee's down on the ground, when did the ball come out?
Guys,
I don't know.
I'm not saying I had the best look, but first glance, I thought he was down. I did think he was down. Now they line up the running back Mason behind McCray. McCray, good throw to the outside. Brandon Sanders makes the play 5 yards from the initial line of scrimmage. Just a little out route, very simple from McCray, and a good throw.
But it picks up positive yards.
3-3 in the third. LaSalle almost had that turnover that they needed.
Sounds like a baseball score. 3-3 in the third.
Now LaSalle rushes 4. Good throw over the middle, dropped. Anthony Lenahan, my apologies. Anthony Lenahan, who has only caught 4 passes on the year, now has dropped 2 tonight.
Yeah.
Onto the field comes Jack Sutton, 5'10", 170, replacing 6'1", 250.
It's a big third down here.
They're going to get some speed on the field with Sutton in the slot. 3 receivers to the outside in the shotgun. McCray takes the snap, drops back, steps up. He's going to take off with it. Garrett Zobel makes the play. Great play on the outside by Colin Hirschman. He put his outside foot towards the sideline, forced McCray into the middle of the field where Garrett Zobel waited.
Yeah, and there's a situation where the Explorers didn't overcommit. They had someone back who was able to make the tackle.
Again, that's all Colin Hirschman there. Garrett Zobel makes a great play, but it's about Colin Hirschman not letting him get to the sideline.
And this is what I'm talking about. The LaSalle defense found him, saw him, and tracked him down so that he couldn't get out of the pocket and go for big yards.
Malley and Holland are deep to receive the punt. It's a low snap,
but a nice
and that
punt.
is a good punt. It's over the head of Troy Holland, bounces down to the 11-yard line and picked up there.
I actually thought they were too far up. I actually thought they should have played one up, one back. Not that he might have been able to get to that side, but, I mean, with the wind.
And it's also tough to replicate. When that ball's over your head, it didn't look like it was over his head to him. I mean, you just don't have the opportunity to practice in 25-mile-an-hour winds to see how that affects the football very often. So that ball, Holland had already waved for a fair catch, then realized, uh-oh, that ball's way over my head.
And it was a good 10 yards over his head.
The worst thing you could have done there would be to try to track back and try to make an
Stay
over-the-shoulder
away now.
catch.
Right.
So now 11:07 to play. LaSalle gets a 3-and-out against St. Joseph's Prep. And they nearly lost football. Isaiah Jones is going to run up the middle. It was an RPO. Tried to get the ball to number 7, Brett and Malley. There was some miscommunication, and Isaiah Jones ended up with the football. I stress, ended up with the football and able to get some yardage down the middle of the field, 2nd and 5.
Yeah.
That could have been a turnover.
This is a good. This is one of those situations where if they could just keep getting positive yardage, to keep eating the clock, moving a little bit, slowly but surely up the field.
3-3 in the third. 10 minutes, 30 seconds to play, third quarter. Joey Burnham switches positions in the backfield with Jones in the shotgun. Now Jones runs right up the middle. Good play there by number 75, Ryan Bryce at 6'4", 285. Makes the play in the backfield, a loss of 2.
Yeah, they can ill afford a loss of yards. Not when they're pinned inside their 20.
Now, this may be the directive here, but Isaiah is not giving the ball up all that often. He's your most dynamic offensive player, but when he's running the ball up the middle and not dishing it to, in that case, Joey Burnham,
and there's
you're not getting you out in space.
And there's 2 names we haven't really called tonight. One on a screen pass, Octavius Carter, and the other one, Manny Quiles.
You're right. Very little Manny tonight. 3rd down and 8. 9:40 to play. Jones, shotgun snap, throws a lob, and there was some miscommunication. Holland was going down the field. Jones threw back shoulder. Incomplete, 4th down.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Holland didn't run the right route or if Jones just didn't make a good throw.
Deep in their own territory, Karish has his heels on his own goal line.
They're going to be coming. They're going to be coming at him.
The wind is howling here at Northeast High School. Cherry is deep at the 45. Karish gets it off. A line drive kick. Just absolutely stops in the wind and gets a decent bounce up to the 38-yard line. That may actually be marked at the 36, as I think it will and should, because inadvertent contact was made there by Owen Pagini.
Yeah, and I mean, he had to kick that rugby style. He kicked it across the front of his body just so he could kick it low into the wind and so he could basically kick it between the arms of some prep special team guys that were coming at him.
Guys, this is a great call from the officials. They were able to huddle up there. They had the ball marked at in between the 38 and 39, but Pagini, it did hit him as he was running down the field. A discussion amongst all the officials. They remark it at the 36, and again, that's a call that sometimes can go and pass the officials by, but they did a nice job to get the yardage right. So now St. Joe's Prep on the plus side of midfield, driving with the wind at their backs. They changed the formation. Marquez McCrae will go under center. And now they throw it back, and it's a fumble. That ball's on the turf, and James Cherry falls on it at the 48-yard line.
That's a big break because the St. Joe's Prep was starting with a really good field position. Now they're back almost to midfield.
That was absolutely going to be a wide receiver pass there, or at least the opportunity for it.
And I think he was throwing back to Marquez McCrae because McCrae threw it and started to head down the field.
Route.
Yes.
Yep. Agreed. So that's a loss of 11 yards. 2nd down and 21. Pistol formation. Thought there was movement there.
There was.
And
that's going to cost them 5.
So Christian, St. Joe's Prep with their best field position of the night. They kicked themselves in the foot twice.
Yes, so, I mean, that's just, I don't know what was happening there, but that just can't happen. You got to be on point. You got to know what you're doing. You got to, if you're laterally back, you got to know where your guy is so you can get a good toss back. I mean, that's just key right there. But then you get this, I think it was a false start.
Yep.
Then you get this false start, that's another 5. So, I mean, they're just kicking themselves right now.
Here's the delay give, up the middle. LaSalle can't get the stop, up to the 40-yard line, and on the plus side of midfield, they almost get back to the sticks, up to the 39-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and long.
Yeah, that was a big play.
That was big for the Prep, though.
Yeah, that was a nice delay.
Number 13, Marquez Mason on the give, and what a run from him. So now 3rd down and 12. 8 minutes, 10 seconds to play in the third quarter, still 3-3. McCray in the shotgun, takes the snap, 5-step drop, looks over the middle, has a man. Cherry drops it again. In his hands, it would have been a walk-in touchdown. He had LaSalle beaten there, but drops the ball again.
Yeah. We talked about it at the start of the show. Explorers cannot let these Prep receivers get behind the secondary, and that's what happened right there. I don't know if it was a misdirection, miscommunication. He just got behind him, and he was wide open, and fortunately he dropped it.
So now they'll kick with the wind at their back. St. Joe's Prep from the 50-yard line. Malley will make the play at the 11-yard line. Good catch there. Takes the fair catch, and LaSalle will get back on the offensive front. Guys, they dodged a huge bullet there.
A huge bullet.
And I'll tell you what, this is a St. Joe's Prep team that is highly rated for very good reason. One of the top teams in the country per many of the polls. They're dropping a lot of footballs tonight.
Yeah,
I know it's cold. I know it's cold.
But, Bob, they're also capable of making big plays, and they're not going to drop them all night long. You don't get to be where they are and have the season they've had by dropping them all night. So you need to take advantage of them when it happens. I think this is a situation where LaSalle is going to have to eat some clock. They need to get out of this what's really poor field position and use up some of this clock.
Here's the give to Keelis going east-west. He's going to lose yards, and a lot of them on the outside. Not enough blocking on the outside, and he'll lose 5 yards.
Going against the wind is very, very difficult tonight. As I said, they're going to need to do some things on the ground or some short passes.
Second down and 15, 7 minutes, 21 seconds to play third quarter. LaSalle heading face first into a howling wind, deep in their own territory, at their own 5. Now they'll throw a screen. Good throw to Octavius Carter. Has a little bit of room. They go for the strip, and Carter gets 5 back, maybe 4, so it'll be 3rd down and 11 from the 9.
But see, I think that's what they need to be doing, not every down, but they need to be doing more of that.
Because I think once in a while the Prep will see that they're going to start to run the ball over and over and over again. So if they keep surprising them with screen passes and just take a break from the run, I think that'll really benefit.
Now, they do have to be careful on those things that he doesn't telegraph it because they're so close. As I said, the last thing you need here is a pick 6.
3 men on the line for Prep. Isaiah Jones with some time and is hit as he throws the football. 4th down as St. Joe's Prep got all the way to Jones. Jones a little slow to get up. And a big-time rush by Phil O'Connor, the junior outside linebacker. Isaiah Jones limping after that hit. It was awkward.
Hard. He got hit hard, and it was an awkward hit.
Isaiah Jones went down for his junior year. Did not play after tearing his ACL, and then was hurt in the second game of this season. You certainly hope for this senior that he at least has the opportunity to finish out a game like this, and they're going to take a look at him. All of a sudden, this becomes important for your defense to stand up here. 6 minutes, 32 seconds to play. You're punting from your own end zone. Got to get this off for one.
This is going to be another defensive game right here.
He nearly got blocked, nearly had his foot or his knee on the ground. It's actually going to be a decent punt after all that. A low roller all the way out to the 44-yard line. Daniel Karish, one of the MVPs for this LaSalle team this year, picks up a short hop, keeps his right knee off the ground, and gets the punt off as there was a rusher on the outside. Really a phenomenal play by a great athlete.
And the long snapper here is the one he's had all year in Lakin. So, as I said, we've had 2 short hop punts tonight, snaps tonight, but neither one of them were by Maloney. So it is a team that's worked together all year and worked very well together.
Guys, this is a huge drive for St. Joseph's Prep. 6:22 to play. Maybe their last drive driving into the against the wind. Here now they throw it deep. Good coverage by Owen Pagini. Would not let Johnny Freeman get behind him.
I'm not sure he could have. I don't think Johnny Freeman could have caught that ball even if he did get behind him.
So now with the wind at St. Joseph's Prep back, as I was trying to articulate, perhaps for the last time of the quarter, this is a huge drive for them. Still 3 apiece. 6:15 to play in the third. Shotgun formation. 1 tight end on the line for St. Joseph's Prep. They give it up the middle. Can't make the first play, but the second one is there. Nice play by Garrett Zobel to clean up the mess. It will be a gain of 3, but could have saved a longer game.
Yeah, I think it was Lemke who got penetration there and just wasn't able to pull him down. Slowed him up, and which Zobel was able to finish him off, but he had him well in the backfield.
Guys, this is a senior-laden defensive line. Right now, Chris Maloney on the outside and Garrett Zobel, your 2 MVPs on defense. 3rd down and 7. Prep in the shotgun. McCray back. Steps up. Fires. This one's caught by Cherry. Cherry finally comes up with it, and it couldn't have been in a bigger spot. Down inside the 30-yard line, a first down.
No, big first down there. That ball was well thrown, right on the numbers.
That was definitely big for the Prep. And, you know, a slow passing game that has been throughout this whole game so far, when it was needed on a first down and needed big yards, that was where it delivered.
Here's the give on the pistol formation. Good downhill running there from Marquez Mason. And, guys, that was 5 yards before anybody from LaSalle could touch him. Great push by the offensive line.
It was a huge hole.
Back into the pistol they go. Hurry up offense for St. Joseph's Prep. They give it again. Marquez Mason again goes to the left. Gets by the first, gets by the second, and is down inside the 10-yard line. Gain of 16 yards and a first down. Mason down on the play and slow to get up. That may, if nothing else, slow down.
It did. I was going to say the injury to Mason is actually because they were in a hurry-up offense.
Mason will jog off the field under his own power. Now confusion for St. Joseph's Prep. On in his place will be number 16, Brian Whitmore. Empty set. Marquez McCray in the backfield all alone. 4 receivers and a tight end, Lenahan. Here comes Cherry in motion. McCray keeps it. Gets to the outside, now cuts in. Great job to stay with him. Brennan Daly forces him back. The ball came loose well after the whistle.
Yeah, he needed to be careful that he didn't get unnecessary roughness.
Listen, that's on the officials there. You got to start blowing the whistle earlier.
Right. Yeah.
4 minutes, 30 seconds to play. One of our best has joined us in the booth here, member of the Philadelphia Police. Thank you for your service, sir. I don't know if you're supposed to be here. Sorry for outing you. My bad. 2nd down and goal for St. Joseph's Prep. 2 running backs in the backfield alongside McCray. McCray will head up the middle, looking for a hole, pushes forward. LaSalle stands him up, and now it's a pushing game. They'll stand him up just shy of the goal line at the 1. 3rd down and 1 upcoming. Mason has one thing on his mind, and that is pay dirt. 3rd and goal upcoming, 3:55 to play in the 3rd quarter. A tie game at 3 here at Northeast High School.
Well, they bring in the bigger Isaiah Jones back in the game now.
And that's good to see.
That is really good for LaSalle on offense and defense.
Clock is running, 3:43 to play.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just powered up the middle.
And it's not even McCray under center right now. It's number 9, C.J. Dool. Dool with the give. To the end zone, touchdown, number 24 on the give. Colby Burrell into the end zone in between the tackles. 9-3 St. Joseph's Prep.
You know, there
How
was
about that change up there?
Yeah.
No McCray taking the snap. And St. Joe's Prep just handed it off to Burrell, who's a downhill runner. They get the touchdown they needed.
You know, the quick offense worked really well for them there because it just caught LaSalle's defense off guard, and they just moved the quick. LaSalle had no time to think, no time to reassess. So St. Joe's Prep really worked with the quick offense.
Tagano's kick is up and good. 10-3 the score here from Northeast High School.
Saying now they're going to get them on roughing the kicker, or they're going to get unnecessary roughness, which they're going to assess on the kickoff, which will give Explorers.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. They're going to kick it into the. I mean, listen,
they're going to kick it in the end zone.
They maybe they try to do some sort of pooch, which I'd be interested to see, but I don't think that'll affect them all that much. If they were going the other direction and St. Joe's Prep had to kick into the wind, I think that could have been a different story. Colby Burrell on the touchdown, number 24, the 1-yard scamper up the middle.
So what they've called is they've called for their hands team. So you have an entirely different special teams out on the field at this point.
Now they'll mark this off from the 40. It'll be all the way up to the LaSalle 45-yard line. A 10-3 game with 3:32 to play in the third quarter.
So Tagana's either going to hammer it at one of the guys in the front row.
St. Joe's Prep has more men to the far side. LaSalle with 10 men inside 10 yards. And he will drill it into the end zone. So no harm, no foul there. LaSalle out to the 20-yard line where the offense will start with 3:32 to play. And, guys, I stress this here, trailing by 7. It's important to get the chains moving a little bit here. You don't necessarily need to score on this drive, but if you can wind down this clock until the fourth quarter, you're seeing the impact that the wind is having here. Just try to get some yards here. Try to move those chains and get the clock moving at this point because you don't want to give the Prep the football again in good field position with the wind at their back for any period of time.
No, if they can hold off in the Prep, not get the ball back until the fourth quarter, that would be huge here. As I said, they're also starting with their best field position of the third quarter,
which is not great. Now Octavius Carter gets the screen pass, continues to churn his feet, and gets about 3 yards. So not bad on the second effort from Octavius Carter.
I was going to say, too, also, LaSalle's last 2 possessions have ended up back in their own 20 or below, which ended in punts, which the punt ended stopped like midfield. So they're going to need to move it. And if they do need a punt, it get further up so they can get more field for St. Joe's Prep. But we don't want a punt. We want them to keep moving it.
Last thing we need is Daniel Karras punting from the end zone again.
And now here comes Troy, or should say Octavius Carter. Good run there. That'll get out past the first down marker. He went way into the backfield and then cut to the sideline. Boy, I tell you what, the foresight there, because I didn't see that hole opening up. But he stuck
I didn't
with
either.
It.
He's fast.
He was one-on-one with St. Joseph's Prep, the defensive line, and he just beat him in speed. And he just rushed through that little hole that he had.
And, Bob, this is exactly what we're talking about. So they pick up the first down. They get it out to the 30. Now we're at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. If they can do this 1 or 2 more times and start the fourth quarter with the wind across the 50, it's a different type of quarter.
Give up the middle. Nothing doing.
There's nothing there.
In between the tackles for no gain. Manny Keelis, we haven't seen much of him. He gets 1 touch and now comes off the field, replaced by Joey Burnham.
I'm not agreeing with up the middle plays. I think
I don't think there's anything there.
I think they benefit going out, either with Isaiah Jones, Octavius Carter.
You know, that Octavius Carter run was almost about a 7-yard loss. I mean, it's just a very aggressive front four. In this case, they're going to put 3 with their fists in the dirt. St. Joe's Prep with 3 on the line. Rayshad Wallace as an outside linebacker. Now Isaiah Jones up the middle, hit at the line, and dives forward for 2. Maybe 1. It'll be 3rd down and 9 with 1 minute and 33 seconds to play in the third quarter.
You ran 2 plays that gained a yard. And
by the way, if they don't get this, And if it were to get to the point where LaSalle could run out the play clock before the end of the third quarter, you better believe that St. Joe's Prep is calling a timeout. 3rd down and 8. A first down solves all of that. In the shotgun, Isaiah Jones, ball in the near hash. 3-step drop. It's deflected and to the turf. He was looking for Brett Malley, and what a play up the middle by number 52 for St. Joseph's Prep, Paul Hess, who got his hands up and made the play. 4th down, a $1:02 to play third quarter.
I mean, the good news is that Daniel Karish is not in the end zone. He's back on his own 20, which is much better than what we've had on the last 2 possessions.
They've moved the ball. They're out to the 31 right now. Karish has his heels on his own 18. Cherry is deep at the 43. Here's the snap. That one's better. Karish has time, gets it off. A good punt, but he got it high, and it just got held up in the wind. Takes a hop back into the LaSalle half of midfield, picked up at the 49-yard line, where St. Joseph's Prep will have 53 seconds left with the wind at their back.
Yeah, you figure you got 2 plays here with the wind. He got it across the 50. But it just took a St. Joe's Prep bounce. So I figured they're going to have at least 2. I think they're going to take 1 shot at the end zone or deep. I think we should look for that.
I was thinking the same thing.
They're trying to put it away right now.
I was also thinking, though, they were going to run it, too, just to get the clock down.
No, I don't see that. This is their last shot to really go for it here, open up the offense. Empty set for Mason. 5 wide receivers on the field. Mason drops back. Mason throws short. Good catch there out to the 45, spinning and heading upfield to the 41-yard line. Good gain there by Jack Sutton.
He's probably got one more throw with the wind.
Sutton's 9th catch of the year. Now the clock is stopped at 37.5.
He might have gone out of bounds.
I was going to say I think he did go out of bounds, yeah.
Guys, I think in the third quarter that clock should still be running. Why is the clock stopped? Third quarter. This isn't the fourth quarter under 3 minutes. Now there's a discussion being had with the referees over by the St. Joe's Prep sideline. So that's the reason for the stoppage. We're not ready for football yet. There's 3 officials right by the 45-yard line on the St. Joe's Prep side of the field. The referee still having discourse. The ball has not been placed. It will be placed at the 43-yard line. And now the head referee will come over and have a discussion with the head coach for LaSalle, John Steinmetz.
Oh, he wasn't out of bounds.
Now there's footballs flying everywhere. One comes from the LaSalle sideline over to the St. Joe's Prep sideline. The ball in play is at the 43-yard line. And the clock will run. Well, but they're not running that clock. 43 seconds. Clock will not run. Now McCray throws a screen pass. Oh, what a play there.
What a play.
It was a short cross. A little drag route from number 15, Jack Sutton. And Sean
Daly nailed him.
Absolutely took him off his feet.
Now, that was a perfect time, too, to come in and hit him and make him drop the ball. Excellent tackle.
Now LaSalle gets a man off the field quickly. 39.8 to play, and LaSalle has to burn a timeout. They thought that they were going to get caught perhaps with too many men on the field. Timeout was called. At the very least, it's a very important 3rd and 4 from the 43, and you need a stop here at the tail end of the third quarter. Bob Long, Chris Carabello, Christian James here. Christian James, his 3rd game in the booth with us here as our student broadcaster, and a big shout-out to Jason Bempa, who's been a big part of what we do here as well, class of 18. Christian James, class of 2020. Well, this third quarter, approaching the final stages. I hate to say, what are your thoughts on the third quarter, because there's still so much to be decided, but what are you seeing?
Well, I think these last few seconds are important, because if they run the ball, I don't know that they can get the punting team out quick enough to punt before maybe not 40 seconds.
Probably they
could. If they run the ball, it's going to depend on how
Sure.
much time.
Sure.
You know, at the same time, I think we're also seeing a lot of St. Joseph's football. They're really starting to move it, really starting to get it going. LaSalle's struggling, and it's hard to say that, but they're struggling. You know, they still have time. It's not the end of the game. They still have time, but
Things are going to change when you have 25-mile-an-hour winds going the other direction in the fourth quarter.
That's what it's come to the whole game. It's the wind where they're going.
13 points have been scored going this direction, 3 the other way. 3rd down and 4. Marquez McCray in the pistol. Marquez Mason alongside him in the backfield. 3 receivers to the near side. Ball on the far hash. They do give it up the middle. Marquez Mason up and past the line. 1st down, St. Joseph's Prep. Clock will stop for just a few seconds as they move the chains. St. Joe's Prep will try to get on the ball quickly. Clock is restarted, under 30 seconds to play. McCray on 1st down, takes the shotgun snap. McCray takes off with it to the 35-yard line, makes Lemke miss, continues along the near side.
Gets out of bounds.
Gets out of bounds. Will be enough for a 1st down inside the 30-yard line to the 26. 18.2 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. (10-3) the score. Final seconds of the 3rd quarter. From the 31-yard line, McCray takes the step back. McCray throws across the middle. Good catch. Made inside the 5-yard line. James Cherry, he dropped 3 earlier this game, but has come up huge on his last 2 intended targets.
Yeah, a lot of LaSalle fans were screaming for holding on the last call. They didn't get it. Marquez McCray came right back, made a great pass across the middle. Now the Prep has the ball inside the 5-yard line.
LaSalle has a man hurt on the play. I do not see the number. He's on his back right now. 11.9 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. It'll be a 1st and goal for St. Joseph's Prep.
I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Tim Anderson, who's listening to us at Salve Regina up in Newport, Rhode Island, class of 16.
You know, we haven't done that yet.
I know, people listening. So people listening, text us. Where you at?
It's at Bob
we
Long
know
Sports
Tim's
on
listening.
Twitter.
He's up in Rhode Island, and I have to imagine it's as cold there as it is here. But one of my Kairos brothers.
That's great. A bond that will last forever. So, yes, where you at? You can hit us up on Twitter at Bob Long Sports. Where you're listening from, whether you're down the street or all the way in California, or like our good friend Dave, he's been over in Ireland watching us all year long. You can't make
He's
that
listening
stuff up.
tonight. He's not watching.
Well, that's true. And now are they running out the last 10 seconds of the 3rd quarter? It would appear so.
Okay.
St. Joe's Prep was huddled on the sideline, and it's now the 4th quarter.
Well, LaSalle's going to have their work cut out for them. They're going to have 1 quarter to play. As I said, barring a great some defensive plays or a turnover here, it looks like the Prep's going to put some additional points on the board here. So right now,
Tigano has been very, very good for them this year. You know, there was a time, I believe he was kicking for them, if I don't remember incorrectly, back in the year 2015 when LaSalle beat St. Joseph's Prep in that eventual state title run that ended against Parkland. But Tigano was not an asset at that point. He was struggling.
He was not. Yeah.
He was struggling to kick the ball with any consistency, with any length. He was solid on extra points, but really that kick he made today into the wind would not have happened in 2015. He's been a real asset kicking the football for St. Joseph's Prep this year. And at 1st down and 6, they're not thinking about Anthony Tigano.
No, they're not.
But he is sitting there waiting in the wings.
Yeah. And even into the wind at this point doesn't matter.
22-yarder. So 12 minutes to play. This portion of today's game brought to you by our partners at Dunphy Ford. Again, guys that have made this happen for us all year and able to get Christian and Jason out. Thanks again to Kevin Dunphy and all the good LaSalle people over there at Dunphy Ford for making this possible. Marquez McCray to begin the 4th quarter. Now St. Joe's Prep, They go from left to right. He's under center in the I formation. Handoff, slipping through towards the end zone. Just short.
Yeah, just short.
He got 4 yards to the 1. Nearly got the stop in the backfield, but he eluded Chris Maloney. Now they're up to the line quickly. McCray likely going to sneak this one. Everybody on the line. McCray sneaks it, pushes forward, and into the end zone. Touchdown, St. Joseph's Prep. On the QB dive up the middle, the big 6'4" quarterback muscles his way home.
Anthony Tagano out to attempt the extra point, which would put St. Joe's Prep up 17-3.
Tagano on to attempt the point after. Brandon Sanders, the holder. Movement up front. There's the flag. So they'll push him back 5 yards, and you just never know.
That's good.
25-mile-an-hour winds.
Well, Sal got a little penetration on the corner there. Devin Smith was able to get in there.
This would be the equivalent of a 20-yard field goal. Sanders has his right knee, the holder, right at the 10-yard line. He lines it up, and Sanders looks inward, awaiting the snap. 16-3. The point after for Tagano. They get the snap down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Tagano puts it in and puts the Hawks up 17-3.
So with 11:34 remaining in this fourth quarter, Explorers are going to have to find a way to put the ball in the end zone not once but twice.
We did get a where you at from Tyler Kern, who was on with us last week, right down the street in Northeast Philadelphia. Probably watching from Steve's Prince of Steaks.
Again, Bob, we're listening from Steve's Prince of Steaks.
Right, that's true. Force of habit.
A place I might hit after this.
I'll see you there. Have to do it. Have to do it in this part of town.
You don't get this close and not go.
That's right. And again, our every single game, folks, the Zobel grandparents out in Clarkson, Michigan, Dave Doherty out in Ireland. I mean, those are just two of many that every single time we come out here, no way for them to possibly be here. Although, come on, Dave. I mean, how much is a flight from Ireland? Let's go. But seriously, that's why we do this. It's great to have everybody watching or listening here tonight. Now a kick that bounces 3 times before Keyless picks it up. Does have a little bit of room. Gets out to the 24-yard line and runs into his own man. He's dropped there with 11:28 to play in the fourth quarter. And, guys, now, okay, LaSalle has the wind at its back, but they have their work cut out for them.
They do. They're going to have to, as I said, they have to put the ball in the end zone not only once but twice. And there was even a situation there on the kickoff where I don't know that he really could afford to let that ball drop. I think he needs to field it. He needs to field it on the fly. 10 yards here makes a big difference, starting the ball on the 25 versus the 35.
Again, how often do you have the opportunity to work on this and shag balls in wind like this? Makes it tough. Now Isaiah Jones keeps it up the middle. Good hole there and taken down at the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 7. And the Explorers are moving on their first play.
Yeah, they're going to have to throw them everything in the playbook because they said they've only got about 11 minutes to play. So whatever they can do in 11 minutes.
Positive there. They definitely got Jones running.
Well, and this is a must-score possession.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
Here's the give up the middle of Joey Burnham. Good hole there. Gets right up near the marker. Maybe past it. And they're already moving the chains. Gain of 4 up the middle for Joey Burnham.
Okay. Nice first down.
Again, Burnham was really the star for LaSalle. Over 100 yards against St. Joseph's Prep on a mid-October night at Widener Stadium.
Now, of that yardage, one was a rather big a big run, which he hasn't got. No one's gotten tonight.
Here's Isaiah Jones with the keeper up the middle. He's got 10 and continues to move forward. That's enough for a first down up to the 45-yard line. Just a little bit of a hitch there to get the defense thinking he was going to throw it, and then up the middle he scampers.
He definitely laid his shoulder down there to continue the yards and continue running, which is what he wanted.
All right, now maybe here's an opportunity to get a little creative. See if the linebackers begin to plug the middle. See if you can get an opportunity. Very tight coverage against Troy Holland with no safety help over the top on the near side. And they're going to go that way. Back shoulder a little bit behind Troy Holland. Couldn't make the play. The ball was there.
The ball was there, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. The play was there. The ball was just behind him. But it was a great play, Colin. We picked it out up here.
The advantage of being at the 50-yard line and at the top of the stands. We're actually at the line of scrimmage right now. They could not be, couldn't have a better view of the ball.
2nd down and 10. Jones fumbles the handoff, now takes off with it, has room to the 50, down to the 45, and taken down in St. Joseph's Prep territory at the 44-yard line. First down Explorers, you said it.
Getting to the outside, that's key to anything that they want to do for the rest of the time. Getting outside.
It was a broken play. There's no. If that was a designed play, I don't think so.
Here's 3 men to the outside. Ball is on the near hash. They're running to the left. Now Jones up the middle again. He has 5 and more. Gain of 8 up to the 35-yard line of St. Joseph's Prep. That may even be 9 yards on that gain from Jones. A little bit of a scuffle as he gets up. But Isaiah Jones starting to run the football downhill.
9 yards on the play. So they're going to have 2nd and 1.
9:16 to play. It's a long time since August 25th against North Penn, but starting to see the offense that was churning against the Knights in the first game of the season. Now Jones throws a back shoulder. That time he has Troy Holland a first down catch at the 25 and another first down.
He's been looking for him all night, and that he finally connected to him, which is it made it really good yardage too.
And stops the clock, because I know it seems like there's a lot of time, but it's really not.
Listen, that play is open. Zach Bogus, he's a guy that they want to isolate against their top receiver, Troy Holland. Now at the 25-yard line. They throw it again. Back shoulder. Holland makes the play and down at the 11-yard line. That's the exact same play. And they're putting Bogus in a very uncomfortable position. They're going to have to start sliding DeJuan Dandridge, the safety, over to help. This is a perfect opportunity for some zone coverage from St. Joseph's Prep. Have Bogus play right up on him and have Dandridge over the top, but I don't know that they're going to go that route. Here's Jones. Jones, they set up the screen. Good play. Here's Joey Burnham. Burnham hit, and that'll be another gain of 5 yards down inside the 6. 8:34 to play. Clock ticks here in the fourth quarter. LaSalle with their best drive of the entire game.
And now they've moved with the hurry up.
Joey Burnham alongside Isaiah Jones. Ball at the 6. Defensive line shifts for the Prep. Here's the give. And Isaiah Jones keeps it, runs through one defender, may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they sniffed that out.
And they're actually going to say that he lost one on the play.
He took one step back and then went to go forward, and there was nothing there.
4 down territory for the LaSalle Explorers.
Absolutely. Daniel Karrasch is warming up, but he better be warming up for the extra point.
7 minutes, 52 seconds to play. 3rd and 4 from the 7. They can get a first down without getting a touchdown. They need about the 3. Jones scrambles to the outside. He's got wheels, but is taken down. What a play on the outside by Phil O'Connor, the outside linebacker.
He needed to get rid of that.
All the way back to the 12-yard line. Loss of 5.
He needed to get rid of that.
I think that's one where Isaiah Jones is used to being the most athletic player in the field and didn't realize that Phil O'Connor at 6'1", 210 is one of their featured outside linebackers that can absolutely move. Sets up 4th and 8 yards from the 11. Offense stays on the field. We'll tick under 7 minutes before this snap is concluded. Brett Malley on the outside. St. Joe's Prep lines up 3 on the line. They've gone almost exclusively 3-4 tonight. Jones, shotgun snap, has time, throws across the middle, late. There's a hit that comes from number 8 on the play, Dawson DeJulius. LaSalle wants a flag, won't come. The ball was behind Marvin Harrison Jr., and the Explorers turn it over on downs. That's borderline, guys.
Yeah, that was.
It's borderline. That ball was way behind him and already passed before that hit came. You don't want to decide a game like that, but you also don't want to see hits like that.
Yeah, but that's a situation where LaSalle put themselves in that position.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, we could complain that there wasn't a call made, but
and that's the don't want to decide a game like this like that mentality, which is totally fair. Now the handoff up the middle. Marquez Mason gets to the outside and is out of bounds. He did gain a few.
Some Fairweather fans have started to flee the stands.
I don't think there was fair weather at any point here tonight.
No, you're right.
It has been cold but warm up here in the booth, and I'm happy I'm standing here with you guys in the booth right now.
Well, we're happy to have you.
You mean this is a great opportunity for you to experience broadcasting? That's what
I
thought you said.
No, that too. Yeah, no, I love it.
Now, Marquez McCrae keeps it. Great job by the Explorers. They stop him right at the line of scrimmage. It was 2nd and 8. Now make it 3rd and 8. Clock ticks under 6 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. LaSalle has 2 of their 3 timeouts remaining.
As I had said, there was no chance that they were kicking a field goal. They needed to go for that. It was 7 or bust.
It had to end in a touchdown, and it was,
It was the right decision, without a doubt. Move up, Troy. Now they delay the give. Mason makes one miss. That was actually Colby Burrell. It will be close.
Yeah.
Short by 2 yards. 4th down and 2 upcoming. The clock ticks under 6 minutes to play in the 4th. So St. Joe's Prep will be content to kick it.
Interesting. Okay. Well, they're not going to go for it.
No doubt about that. No doubt they won't go for it. This will be tough into the wind. LaSalle, I think they send everybody.
I agree with you, but they have 2 back, so they're not sending everybody.
They're really not. This is coverage.
This is yeah. They're looking for a return.
And that's a very short kick. That takes a LaSalle hop out of bounds at the 28-yard line. LaSalle with their best field position of the night with 5:21 to play. And again, there's still time here. They get the green out
they need to be quick. They need to be quick here.
There's still 2 timeouts left on the board for the Explorers.
But Bob, here's a situation where if they do score there and then they can get yeah.
How amazing of a factor, Christian, has the wind been tonight?
It really is.
My goodness.
And we're not out in it, but we can see it. We can watch that flag. We can see the effect it has on the ball.
The wind just knocked down that punt.
Absolutely.
Like it's been a big factor for both sides, definitely.
They're tearing up this side of the turf, both teams. Here's Jones. They throw the screen from Malley, and that's well short. Just a short-armed ball from Isaiah Jones on 1st down. Not a bad play call there, Chris. I think that's a decent idea. Try to get your playmaker in space. Malley really hasn't touched the ball all that much. It's been a lot of Isaiah Jones.
And he really has one person between him and the end zone.
Right.
Now he's going to come over and get some support, but at that point you have him one-on-one with a defender.
If Holland and Harrison can seal their blocks there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now there's 3 receivers to the near side. Ball is on the far hash. 5:18 to play. Jones rolls that way. Jones has to get rid of the football, throws it short, and incomplete. Malley just dropped the football. Very uncharacteristic from Brett Malley.
Yeah. And Isaiah Jones, tremendous pressure. The fact that he got the ball away and it was a catchable ball is impressive.
Guys, was that the intended receiver?
I don't think so.
I think that ball was knocked down because he was hit as he threw it. And he was actually intended for Harrison, who was doing a little loop route to the outside and out and go. And it ended up right in the hands of Malley. He just dropped it. Now 3rd down and 10 from the 27. They need the 17 for a 1st down. Jones, same play. Pressure comes. He doesn't see it. Throws it short. Intended for Octavius Carter. And it's fourth down, potentially season on the line here.
Yeah.
17-3 the score. 5:07 to play. Now twice they've rolled Isaiah Jones to his weak side. They've had number 10 coming off the outside, Phil O'Connor. He's a phenomenally talented outside linebacker.
And they haven't picked him up either.
St. Joe's Prep sticks with that 3-4 that they've done all night long. LaSalle needs a play here. 2 safeties for St. Joseph's Prep. Jones throws it short. They need a block, and he drops the football. Carter dropped the football, and it's a turnover on down. St. Joe's Prep gets the football with 5:03 to play and a 14-point lead.
You know, I can't help. So now I'm okay. So they were at the 25-yard line. That would have been in 35-42 with the wind.
Yeah,
they passed
I
on
don't
2.
think so.
Yeah, I mean they did pass on 2 field goal opportunities, which would have put them down 8 with 5:03 to play.
It's true. Remember, St. Joe's Prep isn't getting the football at the 10-yard line as they did after LaSalle didn't convert on the
They
first
likely would have got it at the
first fourth
20
down.
because he would have kicked it in the end zone with the wind.
Right, which could have changed things. Now here's the snap and the handoff to Colby Burrell. Good stop by the Explorers, what they needed. Will they call a timeout now? And they call it right away. Oh, I thought I heard timeout coming from the opposing press box, but the clock runs. 2 timeouts remaining for LaSalle. Prep will likely run it 2 more times and force LaSalle's hand. Now St. Joe's Prep with an odd formation as they quickly come to the line. Near the end of the play clock, they snap and hand it off to Burrell right up the middle. Big play there by the Explorers. They stop him maybe a yard from the line of scrimmage. Big time play by number 60 for LaSalle, Lucas McNally. Under 4 minutes to play, 3rd down and 8. Clock continues to run. LaSalle needs a stop here and then a quick score. Prep again will come up quickly to the line and snap it. In the pistol, McCray going to take a shot long over the top and intercepted. There's a flag on the play. LaSalle likely to be called for pass interference. Owen Pagini did not turn back, and number 5, Sean Daly, came up with the interception, but that penalty may be the difference.
Yeah, that's a tough call.
It is pass interference against Owen Pagini. 3:36 to play, a first down for St. Joseph's Prep. A big call. I mean, we can leave it at that. That is an absolutely huge call in this football game. Number 5 had Pagini beat. Brandon Sanders, who led the team coming in tonight with 23 catches and 7 touchdown receptions. He had him beaten. Again, Pagini did his best to get back into the play. Daly came across and made the interception. They argued. Sanders didn't have the opportunity to go up and get the football.
Yeah.
So now St. Joseph's Prep with 3:36 to play continues to move the ball upfield. Now at their own 44-yard line.
Yeah, they're out of the hole at this point. So.
And it is 3 minutes, 36 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. The graphic just updated on your screen. Now head coach John Steinmetz having a very animated discussion with the referees, and I can understand his frustration, as that is a call. And however you stand on that call, more likely than not, is a big determinant in how this game finishes. LaSalle still with a chance here. They have 2 timeouts, 3:36 to play. They can get the football back. Hand off to Colby Burrell. Burrell up the middle. It'll be close. Gain of 8 in between the tackles. Clock ticks under 3 minutes and 24 seconds to play. LaSalle continues to hold on to 2 timeouts.
And sadly, this is very similar to what happened in the first game, in that we went into halftime tied, and it was a third quarter lapse on the part of the Explorers where St. Joe's was able to pick up 2 scores. Thus the difference in the game.
And I think the difference here tonight is not necessarily the defense, but when LaSalle had the opportunity to move down the field and score, they could not.
They
convert.
moved down, but they couldn't get it. But when they got inside the red zone, they weren't able to finish it.
Burrell stopped shy. Gain of 1. He probably got about halfway to where he needed to go. 3rd down and short. They're in LaSalle territory at the 47. They need the 46, and now LaSalle will burn their 2nd timeout of the half with 2 minutes and 35 seconds to play. So, Christian, this is it. This play right here after the timeout.
You know what? This decides it. And I guess all you can really do with 2:35 left on the clock as this timeout stands is just end with pride, end with good defense, just end with LaSalle football in any way, which way that would be.
You know, St. Joe's Prep has really a lot of options here, the first of which is they could run the same thing again if they get stopped here and just try to end it. But in terms of some sort of misdirection, LaSalle's going to have to bring the house. Would St. Joe's Prep, you know, I don't think you would at this point in the game, but some sort of pitch to the outside, a way to get somebody in space, because LaSalle is just going to have to bring everybody up the middle and try to stop Colby Burrell or Marquez Mason. Again, putting that ball in the air whatsoever might not be what they want to do. That might be, in their minds, one way to give LaSalle an opening. And so maybe you run the ball up the middle and say our defensive line or our offensive line is going to run down yours. But, again, I think anything in space, maybe a fake on the handoff and then a keeper around the edge from Marquez McCray, and I think it's ball game.
And this game's over.
But LaSalle has the opportunity. It's Marquez McCray all alone. They need one. He runs it up the middle. Stopped. And then pushing forward. There's a flag that comes in late. He pushed forward 3 yards after initial contact.
Wow.
And it's a first down for now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that flag is.
LaSalle doesn't seem overly enthused by it. And it's a face mask against LaSalle. 2:29 to play. First down, St. Joseph's Prep, and mark it off 15 yards from the 38. Down to the LaSalle 23-yard line, and that is very close to sealing this for St. Joseph's Prep. One timeout left for the Explorers.
Yeah, the last thing they needed was a bad penalty.
Now an Explorers down. Lucas McNally is down on the play, number 60. And as I mentioned, you know, St. Joe's Prep had options there offensively. I give them credit. They just said, we're going to run it straight at you. And it was that second push that got Marquez McCray the yardage he needed for a first down.
Would you agree that penalties hurt LaSalle in the second half a little bit? Maybe not a lot, but some of the key plays.
Yeah, I mean, sure, right? I mean, this is a game where against one of the top teams in the country, you needed to be as close to perfect as possible. And I think St. Joe's Prep opened the door. A couple really bad drops, a couple bad penalties on their side. But really a guy that I think changed this football game with his flick of the switch was James Cherry, number 3 for St. Joseph's Prep, making 2 huge catches that converted first down and gained big-time yardage down the field. And that led directly to their 2 scores in the second half.
the prep had everything going for them, running, passing.
I mean, this is a good high school football game.
That was a very good high school
Right?
football.
I mean, this is one of the
Without a doubt.
You only see this in high school, this type of wind, and again with the punters and the kickers, and just
it was a battle of field position.
At this level, that's what this becomes. Absolutely. Now here's the handoff up the middle. Burrell runs right into traffic, may have gotten a yard, down to the 26-yard line, and now unfortunately tempers start to flare.
And sadly, the Explorers never really had when they were against the wind. They never had good field position. They were always in. They were deep in their own territory with the wind in their face. So really, the only time they could move the ball, and if you think about it, their really only offensive production really came in the second and fourth quarters, and there was really nothing on the scoreboard in the fourth quarter, but they at least moved the ball.
That's exactly right. It's a LaSalle team that actually outgained St. Joseph's Prep by about 50 yards the first time they played. I don't think we'll see that same statistic tonight, but really they were able to move the ball in 2 quarters tonight very effectively. Now 1:06 to play, still 1 timeout. Here's the handoff up the middle to Mason. Mason continues to churn the legs to the 20, to the 18-yard line, and down 1 yard short of the first down at the 17-yard line. 56.9 to play. And a timeout called by LaSalle. Wow, they gave him that first down.
Wow.
Or did they not?
I think they did.
I'm not sure what they're doing right now. Nope, they did. They gave him the first down, and that'll be your ball game. 56.9 seconds to play. St. Joe's Prep simply needs to kneel the football.
Yeah, which I would think they will do.
Chris, what a year for us. I mean, we really have enjoyed being an outlet for this program for so many people. And it's a team that, again, lost its quarterback twice now this year. Isaiah Jones came back, played admirably here tonight. Selecki comes in as a guy not expected to play, becomes a first-team all-Catholic quarterback.
If you think of that day at McDonough, and you and I called the game with Jason, and we were, Isaiah Jones goes down, and Danny Selecki didn't have a great. He struggled a little that game. People questioned. Yep. It was even Brett Malley ran the ball a lot in the Wildcat because they weren't sure. They weren't sure if Danny was the answer.
And then he had a week to prepare for Malvern Prep.
And he
threw for 327 yards.
Looked like Brett Gordon.
That's right. In fact, Brett Gordon threw for 300 yards 3 times in his LaSalle career. That Danny Selecki did it for the 10th time that day and was only the 6th Explorer quarterback to do it. No matter what happens in a state race like this, Danny Selecki has that. He has this season leading this team. And Isaiah Jones, unfortunate that he's gotten hurt 2 years in a row, came back with an opportunity to contribute in his senior year, which is really all you can ask, and he will continue his career at the collegiate level. So that's the last Neil, and that's all she wrote. St. Joseph's Prep, a winner here, 17-3, and they move on to the city championship game next weekend.
Yeah. Well, sadly, this may be the best team that St. Joe's Prep plays going forward. I mean, there's some teams out west, there's some other teams there, but this was a battle, and the wind played a factor into it. But you had a tremendous LaSalle offensive line, struggled a little bit to put points on the board, but Chris Maloney, Garrett Zobel, they played admirably defensively. So, as I said, I'm sure the Prep's going to have a great run, but this is going to be one of the better, if not the best team that they play.
There's a team out west, Pine Richland, that I'd really like to see have the opportunity to play someone like a St. Joseph's Prep. But the point is absolutely well taken, and this was not an easy game for St. Joseph's Prep. I mean, this was a dogfight against a team that came in here with every intention of winning this football game. And really, guys, as we begin to shut it down here for the end of what was another great LaSalle season covering this team, I'm really going to miss a lot of these seniors, right? Danny Kuznetsov and Garrett Zobel and Chris Maloney have just been unbelievable on the offensive and defensive lines. Brendan O'Brien, a senior, he played center all year. Colin Hirschman continuing his career next year at Towson University. And Isaiah Jones and Danny Selecki have been phenomenal. Troy Holland, the fact that we're not going to see Troy Holland
No, I
anymore,
know.
it really is unbelievable and unfortunate. Liam Trainer doing it at the tight end position and the linebacker position. Both dailies. We won't see Brennan any longer, and that's really unfortunate.
Joey
Jason
Burnham.
Kessler, Joey Burnham, Austin Lemke, who's been calling the signals defensively for so many years, Charles Roten, and Devin Smith. I mean, these are just some of the guys that have made this program into a very, very successful one and have continued what Chris Ferguson and that 2015 team really created, which was a feeling that this LaSalle team is back in the conversation with St. Joseph's Prep. And it's just one of those things where I've been honored to be a part of it and really, really appreciate it. Christian, you're a first year here at LaSalle. What's your takeaway from this team?
Well, you know what? It's a team. It's a fighting team. It's a team that wants to do well. It's a team that wants to succeed. It's a team that wants to, give it back for its school. Tonight was really hard, and that is why we had a low-score game of 17-3. The defenses were all over the offenses. Offenses had good runnings by both teams, good screen passes, good passes let alone. So, I'm excited for next year. And, this team this year has just been a fighter, and just been in it to win it.
I mean, we're going to see a very different team next year.
Definitely.
I mean, this was a lot of these guys were on the team last year, and they weren't new names for us to call. So there's going to be a lot of new names to call next year. But I expect Explorer football to be back and back strong.
We have so many people to thank here. First and foremost, the athletic director for LaSalle College High School, guy that has allowed us to do this all year long, Joe Parisi. We appreciate the partnership. Rob Johnson inside the LaSalle Multimedia. He has been a huge Kickstarter for us in terms of the video four-way and all throughout the regular season. That's been so much fun. We want to thank Christian James, class of 2020. And my good friend, it's really been a pleasure having you on.
Hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And, it's been amazing to learn the skills of broadcasting and hopefully continue it throughout high school, and maybe we'll see where it goes. But
absolutely, and we'll be doing more of this with you throughout basketball season.
Thank you.
Jason Bempa as well. How could we forget him? He's a good friend as well. Class of 2018 has done such a good job over the last 2 years. Chris Carabello, who's with us, and really, has opened some doors for us in terms of being able to call these games and provide this service, as well as give Jason and Christian this opportunity. Rob Stott, who's been doing this really from day one, doing these games, and then Tyler Kern, who's hopped in over the last few. Really just very, very expertly skilled color commentators, and a real pleasure to share the booth with. Of course, the coaches for giving us, certainly the time, the space, and the attention to do what it is we need to do and learn what we need to learn. And for every one of those people and for every one of the listeners out there, my name is Bob Long, thanking you and saying so long once and for all from Northeast High School. We will be back for basketball season. We'll be here before you know it, and we look forward to it. Have a great Friday evening, everybody.